That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Spine One. Let me ask you a question. You live with back pain, neck pain. Well, my guys at Spine One, they're an emergency room for back pain with same-day appointments. They'll see you and they'll get the journey started. And that's exactly what I did. Whether it's chronic pain, acute pain, work-related, sports-related, doesn't matter. All you got to do is pick up the phone and start your journey just like I did toward pain-free. 303-367-2225. That's 303-367-BACK. Or as always, you can find them online at spineone.com.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello Romano.
Welcome in Sunday morning. Kyle and Cello with the morning off. Mike Rice, Alex Becker with you on this Sunday morning. A little easy like Sunday morning, right, Alex? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mike. Great to be here with you. Sunday after the 4th.
After the 4th. Have you recovered?
Yes. Okay. I kind of took it easy. I knew we had an very important Sunday morning show. So, yeah, nothing too crazy last night.
Always thinking about work, right? Man, oh man. What did you do? You hang out? You see? Did you track down any fireworks?
Yes. I went on a long hike yesterday afternoon, which was nice, out in El Dorado Springs, and then had a dinner, one of the few restaurants that was open last night. At the Westminster Promenade, and then I caught some of the Westminster City fireworks last night. So, nothing crazy. Fireworks I've seen for a long time throughout my childhood, and it was good. So, how about you?
You're a North Sider.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah. I grew up in the Westminster Broomfield area there.
All right. We invite, as always, all you guys to join us on the RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043. If you want to check it out on the Fan YouTube page, the chat there is powered by Champ Honda, and you can take part in the show. Alex and I with you until 10 o'clock. We've got a lot to get to, but we got to get caught up on the 4th. Yeah, it was good. We tracked down some fireworks, went to the city of Englewood, along with thousands of others, which was great. A lot of fun, good show. The boys, we were kind of debating, do we want to try and find a show? And they're like, yeah, man, we got to do fireworks. It's our oldest son, Evan. He was like, yeah, I got to get some fireworks in. I'm like, okay. I'm not big on, especially when this is just me whining a little bit. Not big on fighting the crowds, especially getting the parking place, but we got there early enough to where found a spot in the neighborhood. Can only imagine what a lot of those neighbors right around the park, think every 4th of July. And it was fun. It was a good show. I had all the, they had vendors and food trucks and all the rest, and kind of just hung out. But it was good to see fireworks in person.
That's terrific. Yeah. I mean, especially for the kids. That around that age, was it? I think you said 13 and 15 the other day.
Yeah, exactly.
I love fireworks right around then. So good for you getting them out there, and I'm glad they enjoyed it.
Yeah, just clicked a few pictures and just hung out, and really enjoyed it. Truly did, and was glad that there were. I totally get that. Some places, some counties, some cities felt that they needed to cancel. I'm glad there were those places that did have shows. And everything came off right in all of those areas, at least around the metro area, which was good. Because you know what? And again, I don't want to overplay this, but I like the 4th of July. I like taking a moment to be to be proud for the country I live in. I do. And we're not a perfect country, never have been, never will. But there's a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good things that all of us enjoy, and I find it heartening for me to just take a little bit of time to pause on the 4th of July. And I was able to do that. Got some good grub in, too.
Oh, I bet.
Did you grill? Did you family grill?
No, not yesterday. We have in the past, but no. Just kind of took it easy and then went out to dinner last night. But all the neighbors, we had all the smells throughout the entire neighborhood. And, yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah, and there still are some parades. I was able to take in the one in Highlands Ranch. And I know, the Greeley Independent Stampede Parade is probably, they dub it as the largest 4th of July parade in Colorado. That's always a good one. Been to that one many, many times over the years. And so it's kind of cool, it's neat to see the little kids, out at the parade, getting the candy and getting a little bit close to the cars that are coming through on the parade route. But what the heck? Oh, my goodness. A lot of fun. 303-713-1043. What'd you have for dinner, though? I mean, I know you guys went out, but what was on the menu?
Pizza, actually.
Okay, so a little cash.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't your burgers and dogs. Typical 4th of July food, but can't go wrong with a nice za, I guess.
No, not at all. You a deep dish guy or thin crust?
I do like thin crust. I'd eat deep dish, too. I was, in Chicago in late April and got my fill of deep dish pizza out there.
Yes, that's the place. I'm an equal opportunity pizza inhaler. I will eat whatever is there. Doesn't matter.
We're similar then.
Now on the toppings, you can leave the olives off. I can do without those, and some of the don't do the anchovies or anything like that. But your standard toppings, fine with me. Fine with me. We've got a lot to get to, my friend. We have a lot to get to.
3 hours of it.
3 hours of a lot. Exactly right. I was thinking a lot of talk this week. We're going to go there about LeBron and the Nuggets. Now, we've kind of gone through the fact that we know that the Nuggets are in the mix. Likely not one of the favorite teams, but as Rich Paul, his agent, told Max Kellerman on the Game Over podcast, yes, LeBron is in the mix, or I should say Denver's in the mix for LeBron. And as are the Heat, the 76ers, the Cavaliers, the Warriors, the Timberwolves. Timberwolves apparently really gearing up for some kind of offer and presentation and all that. So we know that it could happen. As Rich Paul said to Max Kellerman when pressed or when asked specifically, are the Nuggets legit by being on the whiteboard of teams that are in the mix? Rich Paul's response was, well, they wouldn't be on the board if they weren't in the mix legitimately. So I guess in talking about all of that this week, though, Alex, we saw and heard from many in Nuggets Nation that are like, come on, we don't want the circus in town. We don't want LeBron. Do you think that he is truly a villain to Nuggets fans, or would it be the case that people would sort of take a position similar to mine, which is, look, I'm not a big LeBron guy. I don't like all the dog and pony show stuff, all the things he's done over the years, to bring attention to himself like he's doing again in this situation.
Yeah, where is he going to take his talents this time?
Right. A little more subtly, or maybe not so subtly when his agent, this time, at least it's his agent going on the podcast. But from a basketball standpoint, I find myself saying, he's not my cup of tea totally. And he's done some things to diss the Nuggets for sure over the years. But I think it's a path for them to have a roster that's more competitive than not. Which one? We're asking Nuggets Nation. Weigh in with us on the RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043 on the YouTube chat powered by Champ Honda on the Fan YouTube page. Where do you fall on that?
Well, I've never been a LeBron guy. I've spent most of my basketball watching, rooting against him. but I don't think he's a villain in the sense like a Kobe Bryant is, or some of these other guys that have been in the Western Conference their whole career and have made a living. Any of the Spurs team, the Manu Ginobili's, those guys beating the Nuggets in the Western Conference. So I don't view him quite as a villain like that. I would welcome him in with open arms. I would say that he's a guy like Aqib Talib. When he came over from New England, I was not a fan of him. But if he's on your side, you welcome him in, and I would like King James here. And I don't know how the rest of Nuggets Nation would feel, but I think they should be accepting of LeBron James.
Okay,
come on.
Well, I mean, a little bit later in the show, we're going to go through we're just going to have a basic economic course, and we'll explain sort of why the Nuggets can't have everybody from a monetary standpoint. But just strictly from the basketball side, I think he would help the team. I'm under no illusions that he would be a savior, that he would be the guy that vaults the Nuggets into championship favorite range. No, I don't think that's the case. I think the Nuggets would really have to retool and spend some tax money in order to get there, and I'm not sure they're going to have the appetite to do so, given how much it's going to cost. But I do think he would help, and I do think it would signal to both Jokic and maybe another team or another guy, or it would signal to people that, all right, they're serious or more serious about trying to put together a roster that could be in the championship conversation. Because right now, I don't think they're realistically in that conversation, Alex. Even if everybody's healthy, because you still have the Peyton Watson question. And so what do you do there? And if they just brought Peyton Watson back, then they're still faced with a massive tax bill, which I'm not sure they're going to want to pay.
Right. You were kind of outlining that to me this morning before the show. I think I would welcome in LeBron absolutely into this fold. And I don't know if Denver has a better chance than some of these other teams based on the odds. Maybe not so. But the fact that he's maybe a top 5, Nuggets are a top 5 destination, it is super intriguing. And I think it was 10 years ago, Dwayne Wade was making his decision in 2016, and it was kind of a similar thing where the Nuggets had an outside shot, but they didn't have the inside track on them. And it's been cool to see how this saga has played out within the last week or so.
Yeah, I mean, you look at LeBron, they couldn't quite get to the number 1 pick when he came out and draft him. And then when LeBron went to the Lakers, he didn't give the Nuggets a visit, and really they weren't seriously in the discussion, even though at the time the Nuggets would have loved him. And then, of course, he's dissed Nikola a little bit.
With the All-Star draft.
Yeah,
I remember that.
The All-Star
dead last.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And then of course maybe that was, I'm trying to think of the timing on that, if that was before or after the Nuggets championship, but there was the whole, with Michael Malone take that L on the way out, and where you're
that for data.
Yeah, we're the Lakers daddy and all that, and which I thought was great, by the way. As a Nuggets fan, I'm not apologizing for any of that. That's just part of what happens when you're good and when you beat teams, and quite honestly, when you beat a team with the pedigree of the Lakers and the tradition of the Lakers. Yeah, the Lakers should expect to hear that a little bit more when they're on the receiving end of it. And so there's been some history, but when you look at but Josh McDaniels, I mean, that's front and center, right, for Denver sports fans. You think, I mean, some people see Carmelo as something of a villain in the way he forced his way out of Denver and everything that led up to it, and then sort of the tap dancing around. No, it was a little more for Lala than it was for me. No, it was for you. You didn't want to stay in Denver. And I mean, you look at other possible Denver sports villains. I mean, Tom Brady and the Patriots, a lot of that is due out of respect. And quite honestly, I think Peyton Manning was something of a villain before he came to the Broncos, for the ways you remember, like in the sort of the early aughts, 03, 04, 05, when the Broncos would get to the playoffs and then they'd have their butt handed to them by the Colts.
Right. They would have to go to the RCA Dome, and the Colts would hang 40 on them.
Right. In the first half.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, but then, of course, all was right in the world when Payton decided to sign with the Broncos. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I don't see LeBron, as much as I've not been a fan of his whole shtick, I guess. Maybe that's the wrong word, but just the whole persona and the whole focus on me. I'm not a big fan of.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
Yeah, didn't get close. I'm not a big fan of all that, but I wouldn't see him as a villain in the same way that like Josh McDaniels was a villain for the Broncos. I just don't. I mean, again, I'm more with you, Alex. I can look past the stuff that's just, to me, a bad look and not the way I would go about it if I were a gazillionaire, and say, could LeBron help the Nuggets from a basketball perspective? I think he could. And are there other sports villains? Who was your sports villain growing up? Who was the guy you – and by that I mean you just love to hate. Chime in, 303-713-1043 on the RamosLaw.com text line. I would give you a couple. They go way back in the day. But one thing I did think of, and of course, doesn't matter how long you've been in Denver, everybody knows John Elway. And can you imagine John Elway's got to be a villain to Browns fans and to Cleveland, right? I mean, after all of the angst that Elway and the Broncos put on Cleveland and caused Cleveland over the years.
Always. I think forever. He'll always be seen as the bad guy in that situation from the 83 draft.
Man, I mean, think of it. Another guy I thought of locally for Denver, for those who have been Avalanche fans for a while, remember Todd Bertuzzi?
Oh, yeah. I think he's a villain in a whole different sense than any of these other guys, because what he did was just despicable.
Yeah.
Despicable. I mean, Phillip
absolutely.
Rivers was never taking absolute cheap shots on any of the Broncos players or any of that. What Todd Bertuzzi did, and the fact that it went to court and then he got charged and all that stuff, it took on a whole different animal.
It did, so and it certainly goes beyond sort of the meaningless and sort of fun discussion of a sports villain. But the Steve Moore situation with Bertuzzi, you're right, that took on an absolute life of its own, unfortunately. But again, I think LeBron, and we've talked about it this week. I think the off-the-court extras that he would bring to the Nuggets in terms of attention, jersey sales, all of that, some of it would depend on the contract in terms of how much that would equate into a tax bill. But here's the deal. If you're in the repeater tax, then the amount of tax that you pay for being over the luxury tax, the amount of money you pay for being into the luxury tax goes up significantly. So, again, we'll get into the economics of it a little bit later on. Generally speaking, I would be fine with LeBron coming to Denver. On the RamosLaw.com text line from the 0064, I'd be fine if they signed him to a no-flop contract. I'm with you. I'm with you. He wants a call but that's the NBA.
That's, I'd say, 80% of the players are falling down after they shoot jump shots and looking for every single whistle and throwing their palms up to the referees every time down. Although he was maybe one of the pioneers, I think you could argue, with flopping. Him and Ginobili, I'd put up there.
Load management.
Yes, stuff like that.
But here's my question. From a roster perspective, if they don't sign LeBron, what do the Nuggets do? Because if they do sign LeBron, I think there's going to be at least one trade made regardless of whether they sign LeBron or not. And it wouldn't be a trade, obviously. The big decision is Payton Watson, because that's going to add somewhere in the 20 to 25 plus million range onto the books this year. I would think it'd be this year. Well, it is. He's a restricted free agent. So from that standpoint, they've got a big contract coming in if they decide to re-sign Payton Watson. And we did hear Rich Paul, who's also Payton Watson's agent, say that was a big hurdle the Nuggets still had left to get over. And meaning that he's pushing his client like Payton Watson got to get paid.
Yeah, that's a clutch sports client for you.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the Nuggets will pay Watson. But if they do, then they have to get rid of basically 2 contracts, because the only way they're going to substantially save is to get under the luxury tax, and that has to be the goal, which is $200 million. The salary cap is right about 165. The luxury tax is slightly over 200, and it's the luxury tax that dictates whether or not you are going to be a repeater. And it's all done at the end of the league year. So the Nuggets don't have to be under the luxury tax day one. They could play most as they weren't this year. They made the trade, and was it Hunter Tyson that they dealt right at the deadline?
Yeah. Yep. To Brooklyn, I believe. That was like the one trade they made.
Right, and that got them under. And they've been willing to pay, but not to the level that it would take if you sign Watson and basically trade one guy to kind of replace or eliminate one contract for the one you would be bringing on with Payton. And then, but you're still adding, and I know it doesn't seem significant. I mean, you're still adding Marvin Bagley III. You're still adding Tyus Jones, which is increasing the tax bill. That's why Jonas Valanciunas and his $10 million will not be on the Nuggets books next year. There is no possible way. They signed Marvin Bagley for, what was it, 3.5-ish?
Yeah, and vet minimum.
Yeah, Big Val is at 10, so that's 6.5. But again, you're talking about multiplying that out when you're a repeat offender in that tax by the Nuggets. I mean, if their structure economically stays the same, you're looking at multiplying that out by a factor of over 6 to determine how much tax you would pay. Again, we'll get into it all. I speak generically or generally right now, Alex, because I just economically don't see the Nuggets wanting to be in the luxury tax, and yet I could see them I could see them bringing in LeBron and going, okay, maybe that changes things. But if they don't bring in LeBron, I think there's still going to be a deal, and maybe 2 if they decide to sign Payton Watson to a meaningful contract anywhere close to the numbers that we've been hearing.
Do you think that would be more of a minor signing or a substantial signing?
Well, I think Watson would be the substantial signing, and then I think if again, and we don't know the number, but just take for the sake of conversation, $25 million. So they add $25 million, add that to the already existing tax bill. And right now, there's varying estimates on what the Nuggets tax would be as of now without numbers for Bagley III and Jones, because officially those deals are not on the books yet. They've been agreed to, and the numbers have been reported, but we don't have them factored into the tax bill yet because they're not officially members of the Nuggets. And so, Spot Rack is saying it'd be around 12 or 16 million, and there's another outlet, I can't remember which one it was, that it was 61 million. I don't know the discrepancy. I do know this, and I'm not pretending to be a cap guy. I'm just saying that if you go simply by being a repeat offender, so the repeater tax kicks in, and the Nuggets on what they would be ballpark, it's a large tax bill if you add a $25 million Payton Watson contract, pushing $200 million without LeBron, without another sort of move at the margins. That would include Valanciunas, so that could potentially reduce it. I could see them going into it with LeBron. You'd almost have to, wouldn't you? I mean, LeBron's
I'd say so.
Yeah, I mean, you got to outline a plan to LeBron.
Yes. Yeah. Otherwise, he's that would completely turn him off. if you're going to lure him in at all, you got to have your ducks in a row.
Absolutely. And a ducks in a row to be a viable championship contender, because that's what LeBron is looking for. So we shall see. We'll see how it all goes. And it looks, I mean, we could have a LeBron decision this week. I don't think it's imminent from all the reporting, but it sounds like it's not going to be a month from now either. So we'll have to watch it. We'll of course keep you appraised on all the developments. We do know that Broncos training camp is just around the corner. Which Denver Bronco is poised to take steps forward? We'll get into that next.
The Nuggets summer is heating up, and the biggest questions are still on the table. Will Nikola Jokic sign an extension or keep Denver holding its breath? Could a blockbuster Jamal Murray trade reshape the roster? And with Payton Watson hitting restricted free agency, what does the core look like moving forward? Stay locked in. Denver Sports has you covered all offseason long.
Union, we want to pay you to switch. From June 1st to August 31st, we're offering a $300 bonus when you open a new checking account with a qualifying direct deposit of $500 or more. They changed your account number. You can change who you bank with. Go to belco.org/switch for full offer details. Insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required. Conditions and restrictions apply. Belco. Banking for everyone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And right now, new mattresses start at $1,500 during our 4th of July sale. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Let me tell you about the Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite. It's bright, it's bubbly, it's back.
The Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich, it's so rich, and you can choose between the original or the spicy filet.
Ooh, boy.
And then you got those pickled jalapenos tucked right under the filet, and then just to top it all off, you've got a little honey drizzle right on top.
Okay, now I'm a pimento fan.
And I'm feeling the dragon fruit.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Don't care for my local hometown team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. I have known the Rocks team for years. They have serviced my own house. Right now, out-of-state private equity corporations are buying local HVAC companies, providing higher prices, bad service, and shady sales tactics. When it comes to your heating and cooling needs, go with the local Colorado team I know and trust. ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
Don't miss the Tree Farms Array of Tree Sale now through July 14th. Save up to 35% on thousands of evergreen trees in all sizes. Choose from arborvitae, upright juniper, Austrian pine, Bosnian pine, mugo pine, limber pine, blue, spruce, Serbian spruce, and more. And huge savings on thousands of shrubs and perennials. The Array of Tree Sale. Come see.
I-25 to exit 235. Then 5 miles west to the tree farm.
Robbie Dino here at BeatTheDA.com. I've handled over 7,000 cases, 300 trials. Let's face it, divorce is really impactful. You may have a controlling spouse. You may have a violent spouse. You may have been a victim of a domestic violence. You may be wrongfully accused of domestic violence. This all affects parenting rights. And let's face it, the kids are the most important. These are the things that need to be handled. They need to be handled appropriately by someone that's going to protect your kids and protect your rights. Hit me up at beattheda.com, 720-706-5151.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello Romano.
Kyle and Cello getting a Sunday off. Love that. Those guys with a little family time here on the weekend of the 4th of July. And Mike Rice, Alex Becker in with you on this Sunday morning as we talk some Nuggets. We're going to shift it over to Broncos. By the way, Justin and I were talking about this on the drive this week. When does the football feeling come back for you? You know, because you go through, I mean, the offseason is great. I mean, it's not the season. We know that, so there's no games. But in terms of the player movement, the draft, free agency, then OTAs start, and we make more of all that than we really need to because that's all we have at the time. Mandatory minicamp. Now there's the lull until training camp starts, Alex. But when do you start to go, yeah, it's getting to be football season?
I'd say the last week of July when players are starting to report to training camp. You know, I'm a baseball guy, so I actually love the month of July and the All-Star game, and baseball, it gets its own focus. But I'd say about towards the end of July, guys are starting to show up for training camp. We're hearing some of the storylines, some of the competition battles are starting to come out, and that's when you know football season is right around the corner. So
yeah,
it's a good time.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately for us in Colorado, the Rockies, many years are kind of out of it by then. So everyone's ready to turn the page. All Broncos all the time.
Well, and they're out of it now, but at least they're more fun while they're out of it. They haven't arrived anywhere because they're still struggling, and they did lose to the Giants last night 6-4 at Coors Field, and the Rockies stand at 36-54, and they are tied with the Mets and the Angels for the second fewest wins in MLB, just ahead of Kansas City. Rockies have 36 wins, and the Royals have 35, which is a little surprising to me. I didn't think they were going to be that bad, but that's a discussion for another segment. I start to really hone in on football after the 4th of July, and I do think part of it is when the Rockies, as you said, really aren't playing well and when they're a total non-factor in terms of the standings. It helps me focus on football more. As much as I love the Rockies and baseball, it's hard to follow a team that's losing as much as they have been, although I do see some bright signs. And so I'm ready. I'm getting ready for football. And that sort of leads us to the Broncos. As we look at what they've done through this offseason, they've made some moves, obviously. We know that storyline number one in training camp will be the health of Bo Nix, what he looks like, the chances of a problem coming up. Do the previous problems from this offseason and the two procedures hamper him at all? I think we're all ready to see Bo on the field, even if it's in a controlled environment and even if it's not game speed. That's number one. But and there aren't that many roster battles. There don't need to be when you have a team that didn't go to the Super Bowl primarily because Bo got hurt. But there are a few, and there are a few guys I think that are poised to take some steps forward. And Alex, if I were to ask you who tops your list of Broncos who are going to continue to progress, who's that guy?
Well, I had two that came to mind, one really on offense, one on defense.
Okay.
The main one for me was Jonah Ellis. That one stuck out to me. He's going into his third year, of course, with the Jonathan Cooper situation that's going on. Jonah Ellis might be in line for a whole lot more playing time. Him and DeAndre Tillman could see a lot more snaps than maybe they originally thought. But I think Ellis is in line to take a big step forward. He had a big rookie season, 5 sacks, not as effective last year with 2.5 sacks and played in 13 games, but I think he can really break out this year.
To stay on the Ellis topic for a minute, with Cooper's issues, I mean, and there was talk that the Broncos were going to move him to the inside, which I never liked, but they're not going to do that. And Sean made that pretty clear. And I'm glad because he had started to flash. Certainly on special teams, he was flashing regularly. But even when he got into games, he was around the football. He was impacting things for a reserve player. And as you said, with everything up in the air a little bit with the Cooper situation, that you don't need to move Ellis from the outside. Keep him there in case he needs to be the guy. He may need to be the guy on that side. If Jonathan Cooper and the legal issues dictate that he can't get on the field.
Right. It's almost like a Shaquille Barrett type of role to where they're coming in as a reserve playing behind someone, but they've got that capability to be the guy if need be. And I think Ellis is ready for that. He's going into the prime of his career, and I think he's going to take a big step forward. OTAs, he was a big talking point, how well he was doing against McGlinchey in practice there. It just seems like to me all signs are pointing to Ellis taking a big leap this year.
Yeah, let's stay on the defense. I'll give you my guy that I think the Broncos are going to be pleased with the move they made, and that's Justin Sternad. I do. I think he's ready. I think he's been a guy who's paid his dues. And just because you're on the roster but not in a prominent role doesn't mean you automatically get the big contract and get the opportunity to play more. But I think Sternad's earned it. When you look at his last 2 seasons in particular, he was drafted, of course, in 21 in the 5th round out of Wake Forest. And the last 2 years have been really, really good in a role that wasn't projected to be very impactful. Remember, they brought in Dre Greenlaw for a reason, and then Greenlaw, of course, couldn't play the first 7 games and then missed other time, as is the case. And last year, Sternad comes up with 4.5 sacks and 5 tackles for loss. Year before that, 3 sacks, 8 TFLs. I get it. From the inside backer position, you're not really a sack guy, so that's not all of the role. But he's around the football. He seems to be emerging as a reliable, productive player. And then when you add on 7.5 sacks and 13 tackles for loss the last 2 years, I think he's ready. And he made it clear. I liked the fact, you remember when there was talk towards the end of last year, before he got the deal and everything and all that was done in the offseason, he was pretty clear, like, I'm going to be a starter, whether it's here or somewhere else. So there's that confidence factor. All signs point to me to Justin Sternad being ready. Am I talking about Lawrence Taylor 2.0? No, of course not. I'm not going to go that far, of course. But I think he could be more than
is how I would describe it. 2020 draft, and he stayed the entire time. And, he's deserving of that deal. I thought he filled in very admirably last year for Greenlaw. So I like that one. I think Sternad, he's a playmaker on defense. And
2021, but that was his first season on the field. It was the 2020 draft. You are absolutely right. You said you had one on offense, too. Broncos that are ready and Broncos who will take steps forward individually this year.
Yeah, I think you could make the case for this guy last year as well, but Troy Franklin to me on offense, and I think you were maybe thinking this as well. He did take a big leap last year with those 709 receiving yards and 6 receiving touchdowns, but I feel like there's a whole lot more still in there for Franklin. If he could just be maybe more consistent with catching the football, not catch one, drop one, catch one, drop one, because he's a downfield threat. He's got great size. He's got all the tools, as you would say, as a baseball guy, to be a marquee receiver in this league. So if he can just keep making strides, keep getting better, he's got that in him. Just stay consistent.
Are we going to see the Broncos keep talking up R.J. Harvey? And I do like Franklin for sure, because I think there will not be, just to finish the thought on him, there won't be with Waddle in sort of the, okay, Troy Franklin, that sort of that need, if you will, for Troy Franklin to emerge as the number 2 guy. I mean, with Waddle and Sutton, you've got your top 2, Sutton and Waddle, Sutton, whatever order you want to put them in. And I do think those guys will get the bulk of the targets. Maybe that will allow Troy Franklin and Pat Bryant to continue to progress, continue to make contributions, but not have to be one of the main guys. That might be helpful. But I wanted to hit on RJ Harvey for a moment. Offensively, I'm more curious. I'm not saying I think he's poised to improve more, because we saw the Broncos use RJ Harvey primarily as a receiver. And when Dobbins went down, he just didn't provide the punch and the inside running game, which didn't surprise a lot of us. And yet the Broncos, we know they love RJ Harvey. Will they continue to feature him in a similar fashion with Dobbins back and Jonah Coleman in the mix, who very much is an inside runner? Or do you think that Davis Webb is going to try and...
Honestly, I would say more of the same. I think he's found his niche as a receiving back, the scat back, and like you said, with Coleman to go along with Dobbins. I just don't see a whole lot of work with him running the ball in between the tackles.
Let me throw out one other name as far as guys who will take steps forward. Where does Jahdae Barron place in this conversation? Is he maxed out already? Oh my goodness, I can't believe I said that. But I mean, I don't think he's maxed out. But is he a guy that can challenge J-Mac for that slot corner, that fifth corner spot? I mean, the way McMillan's playing, I mean, that dude's been crazy good. And so I sometimes think a lot about, and we talked to Mike Kliss about this on Friday on the drive, you know, where the opportunity is going to come from when you have the defense that the Broncos have with so many guys back and so many guys who played so well last year.
I don't know, Mike. I don't see a spot for him right now. You know, could he? I don't think he's going to surpass Jaquan McMillan unless there's an injury. Same with Riley Moss on the outside. It's not looking like a good pick. 2 years, 1 year in plus some. I don't know. I just see it's a crowded room, and he hasn't shown the ability to be a game changer in that way.
You're down and outs on Barron.
As of right now, I mean, he just hasn't shown the ability. And I don't know if he's not given the opportunity or what, but he has not taken that leap that you would like to see from a first-rounder.
303-713-1043 on the RamosLaw.com text line, on the fan YouTube page. The YouTube chat is powered by Sean Honda if you want to weigh in. Kyle and Cello getting a well-deserved Sunday morning off, but just because they're not here, Alex and I will take the Sunday stroll next.
The countdown is on. Broncos training camp is less than a month away. Rookies report July 22nd. Veterans hit Broncos Park powered by Common Spirit on the 28th. Bo Nix is expected back at full speed. Sean Payton skipping joint practices to maximize every rep. And it all builds toward a season opener on Monday Night Football against the Chiefs. From camp battles to kickoff, Denver Sports has you covered. Denver Sports, 104.3 The Fan.
Cecil Lammy here from my friends SodaDietAndNutrition.com. They've got a big summer offer. You can get 4 weeks free. Call 866-800-SODA and mention this station, 104.3 The Fan. 866-800-SODA. Mention this station to get 4 weeks free. Their big summer offer going on right now. It's Soda, Diet, and Nutrition. I want you to call up 866-800-SODA. Listen, 5 years ago I lost 60 pounds with soda, and I'm never going back. Why? Because they taught me how to eat, what to eat, and when to eat. And having those tools is amazing for your weight loss journey, because it's about knowing what you need every single day and then having your own nutritionist, a personalized nutritionist with a personalized plan for you, the dynamic diet for you, custom built for you, so that you can lose weight and you can keep it off. And that's the main thing. 5 years have gone by and those 60 pounds are not coming back. They'll never come back because I learned how to eat, what to eat, and when to eat, all thanks to Soda. SodaDietNutrition.com. Soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
Jane Dawson did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With the money she saved, she got herself a pricey bird feeder with an ultra-high-def camera. Should Jane have just bought a regular bird feeder? Yes. Is it hard for her to admire nature when the camera doubles as the bird's potty? Also, yes. But it's Jane's savings, and if she wants to spend her time watching the digestive habits of the white-breasted nuthatch, we say you go, girl. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Let me tell you about the pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite. It's bright, it's bubbly, it's back.
The honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich, it's so rich, and you can choose between the original or the spicy filet.
Ooh, boy.
And then you got those pickled jalapenos tucked right under the filet, and then just to top it all off, you've got a little honey drizzle right on top.
Okay, now I'm a pimento fan.
And I'm feeling the dragon fruit.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Hey, I'm not one to say I told you so, but do you remember last year when I told you that Pure Talk was hands down the best wireless company that I'd ever used? Well, some of you were skeptical, but Consumer Reports just asked 120,000 people to rate every wireless company in America, including the big boys. Well, guess which company was the only company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. Coverage, support, value, data. 5 stars across the board. No service contracts, no cancellation fees, just great U.S. customer service on a crazy fast 5G network for a fraction of what you've been paying. I'm not going to say I told you so, but I will encourage you one more time to dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to a 5-star American wireless company that won't let you down. Pure Talk.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here, and you can get a richer looking lawn with Rich Lawn. Using the organic based fertilizer Rich Lawn Turf Food, you'll get greener grass and build your soil for a beautiful yard. And while you're at it, don't forget to check out Revive, the treatment to revitalize your lawn for deeper roots and deeper watering. Rich Lawn and Revive products are available at Home Depot or your local gardening center. With Rich Lawn and Revive products, you'll have your yard ready in no time.
When it's time to sell your home, you hope your agent knows the market, timing, pricing, interest rates, neighborhoods, staging open houses, understanding contracts, completing paperwork. Oh, and can actually help guide you on your big move. Don't hope, know. When you hire a Weichert agent, you can be sure you've got a partner who will guide you every step of the way, from listing to closing and everything in between. Weichert, dream, move, home. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
The weekend is upon us, and we're here to walk you through today's top headlines. So lace up and join Kyle, Reese, and Marcello Romano on this week's Sunday Stroll.
Mike and Alex in for Kyle and Cello. Hey, they're getting a Sunday morning off. We are filling in, but you know what? We're still strolling, Alex. We are still taking the Sunday stroll. And, you know, we got to at least start. We'll just window shop, if you will. We're not going to hit it hard this segment, but a lot of talk about LeBron this week. LeBron
James.
That's it. That's it. And the whiteboard. What did you think of the whiteboard that Rich Paul brought out, his agent?
So the one thing that stuck out to me is when they had the Nuggets category, the 4 that were listed was Murray, Johnson, Gordon, and Jokic. I mean, is that the 4 expected starters? Are they expecting Payton Watson maybe to come off the bench if he signed? I just thought that was interesting. And they didn't have Christian Brown in that 4 as well.
So you found it interesting that Watson was not in that group?
That he was not in that group, and Christian Brown was not either. It's like, if LeBron does go to Denver, it seemed like those were maybe the 4 other projected starters besides LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, with the Watson thing, Rich Paul did mention that they've got one big hurdle to clear, to get over, and that was referring to getting Peyton Watson back. So he was mentioned, but you're not going to put Christian Brown or Peyton Watson at this point when it comes to an incentive for LeBron to come to your team. Those guys,
that's fair.
Yeah, they're not going to make the cut. I don't think. I mean, if you're LeBron, they're not moving the needle as much as Joker, Murray, Gordon, and the like.
I'm with you.
And Cam. It was kind of funny though. I just found the whole whiteboard thing. It was on the one hand informative because I do think it gave, and I'm just taking it at face value, a sort of realistic look into who's in the running for LeBron. But it's also part of the show, man. I mean,
right. I like the Dallas category too, because none of them were basketball related at all.
Yeah,
oil, golf, Masai, I think, or
Masai Ujiri.
Yeah, so
I mean, but that's LeBron. That's what you're gonna get. Not a huge fan of it, but from a basketball standpoint, I could live with it because it would probably be for just 1 year. We were talking Broncos. Let's stroll down to Broncos Park, powered by Common Spirit. Counting down the days to training camp. Rookies report July 22nd, or rookies start training camp July 22nd. The vets on the 28th. So we're 3 weeks away, 3+ weeks away from training camp. Outside of Bo Nix and his health, what is the top story heading into training camp? Does it become Jonathan Cooper, unfortunately, with that situation? But from a football perspective, and that may have football ramifications, we don't know yet. What's the top story outside of Bo's ankles?
Well, I'd say for me is Davis Webb calling the plays.
There you go.
I think besides Bo's ankle, and I guess that's kind of falls in line with that, but him taking over and how Sean Payton's going to handle the whole thing too is probably the biggest thing I'm looking out for. I'm not sure how much we'll see of it though at training camp, really until the actual game start is when we'll know. We'll get a firmer understanding of that whole thing.
A lot of people want to make the case that Sean's going to be like lurking over Davis's shoulder and ready to jump back into the play calling chair. I don't see it that way. I think Sean Payton is going to mentor Davis Webb. Yeah, he's going to be demanding. He's going to want it done right. But Davis Webb wants that too. I mean, it's not like that's just a Sean Payton thing. I think it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. And when it comes to Davis Webb and the stamp he can put on this offense, I want to see not only how he incorporates the balance between the pass and the run, but I want to see if he's going to try and stretch the field through the air more. I think he will. I think a lot of people think that. But I just want to see how that's going to play out. Who's going to be on the receiving end? How will they incorporate Waddle? Can they get more receiving production from the tight end position with Ingram and Troutman? I have Stokely, the year of the Trout in my mind, in my head. I think it's going to be great to watch Davis Webb come into his own because I think he'll do a great job. I do. And one of the reasons I think that is because he has that relationship with Bo already, and I think there's a mutual respect. I think Davis Webb knows what Bo wants to do, and if he doesn't, then I'm sure Bo has been telling him over the last few months.
Right. Yeah, I think that might be the closest guy to Bo on the coaching staff for sure. And I think the Broncos got to take advantage of having Webb on the staff because I just don't think he's going to be here that long. I mean, I could see him taking a head coaching job within the next 2 to 3 years if he excels in this role. So maybe another stepping stone on the Davis Webb coaching journey.
Yeah, maybe so. We stroll down to Coors Field. We mentioned the Rockies lost to the Giants. Giants got off to a good start with a 4-0 lead in the first. So the Rockies are 36-54, on pace to win about 65 games, and you think, wow, that's not very good at all, and it isn't, but it becomes a little bit better when you realize and remember that they were 43-119 a year ago. Man, oh man.
I like not to remember that.
Yeah, exactly. All of us would like to forget that. A couple of great honors. Hunter Goodman makes the All-Star team. He'll be the Rockies representative. Will he be in the home run derby? I sure hope so. He's got 27 bombs, and he still has a chance, a great chance, to set the Rockies' pre-All-Star break record because he's tied with Larry Walker for most in team history right now.
I think I saw his dad was throwing BP to him. Was it last night before the game?
Is that right?
Maybe a little foreshadowing of what's going to happen there in Philadelphia in a couple weeks, but I think he said, too, last week, if I get invited, I want to do it. I want to participate in this thing, and I think that'd be awesome.
You got to get that done then. I miss the fact that he said that, which is great. A lot of guys do shy away from it, especially ones who have done it in the past. You know, the whole, does it alter a guy's swing? And I don't know.
These guys take BP every single day before the game, and then of course they have like their home run round as their last round. I don't see it. I think that's an excuse.
I think it would be great if Hunter Goodman were in it, and I think he will be. How do you ignore 27? What do you have, 12 in June alone?
14.
14.
Actually. Yeah.
Gotta give Hunter his due. Also, TJ Rumfield is the National League Rookie of the Month in June.
So is that back-to-back then? I think he won May as well.
Yeah, if he won May, it'd be back-to-back.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back and look.
Wow. So maybe one of the better stories that no one really knows about or is talking about is 25-year-old rookie TJ Rumfield. But he just mashes the ball, and he shows up every day to work, and I really liked watching him this year.
Are you, just quickly, because we'll pick this up at about 8:30 or so, are you buying a more competitive Rockies this year? Are you at least encouraged by some, and they're very preliminary signs, but they're still signs of life nonetheless?
I am buying it. I think they are more competitive and fun to watch on a nightly basis. That being said, they're still light years away from the Los Angeles Dodgers in competing for any of that, but much more competitive and fun to watch than the 2025 version.
All right, that is the stroll. We're going to do a little NBA Economics 101. It's not our money, but you'll see why running it back for the Nuggets will get really, really expensive.
Colton, Drury, and Nichushkin all gone. New faces are already in the fold, with the entire blue line back as well after a Western Conference final sweep that still stings. How will the Avs retool around McKinnon for another cup run? Every trade, every signing, every take. Denver Sports has you covered all summer long. Denver Sports, 104.3 The Fan.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Xfinity. Usually when something sounds way too good to be true, it is. Imagine someone says you can cut your mobile bill in half. Sounds like a fantasy, but with Xfinity Mobile, it's a real deal. Because when you have Xfinity Internet, you can cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year, no commitment. That's a lot of streaming, sharing, scrolling, and whatever else you can do with your phone, all for half the price and none of the commitment. What that means, you'll save big over Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Now all you have to do is think about how you'll spend all that extra money. Call 1-800-XFINITY, go to XfinityMobile.com, or visit a local Xfinity store to switch today. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Savings compare one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes and fees extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Summer should be a time of joy for children, but Wish kids often miss out due to their illness, creating a dark chapter during a time that should be filled with sunshine and memories. A wish from Make-A-Wish Colorado can change everything for these children, giving them the strength and hope they need to persevere in their fight against critical illness. My name is Carrie Fletcher. I'm part of the Alpine Bank family, member FDIC. Today, Alpine Bank hopes you'll decide to make a life-changing impact in the life of Colorado Wish kids by supporting Make-A-Wish Colorado. There are currently more than 450 Colorado kids with critical illnesses who are waiting for a life-changing wish, and 110 more kids will be diagnosed this summer. You can help make their wishes come true. Visit wish.org/Colorado to help Make-A-Wish Colorado grant some memorable wishes this summer.
It's easy to find your groove. As America celebrates, Groove Toyota, the oldest family-owned Toyota dealership in the Denver Metro, has more reasons to celebrate. Choose from hundreds of pre-owns, 40 under 15 grand. GrooveToyota.com. Plus, Groove Toyota has more than 100 used Toyotas, including Toyota Certifieds, with full warranties available. Hurry into our Red, White, and Drive event. Groove Toyota. Start here, go anywhere.
Offer expires 7/31/26. Not all will qualify. Restrictions apply. With approved credit, call 720-961-4465 for complete details.
Is your financial advisor managing your risk or just a spreadsheet? Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. Many financial advisors rely on target date funds, which are one-size-fits-all portfolios that don't know your name, your family, or your goals. And that passive management can leave you dangerously exposed. At Trajan, we look at the whole picture, not just the stocks everyone else buys, but the private market opportunities most advisors ignore. And as fiduciaries, salaries, we build a strategy around you, coordinating your investments, tax strategy, and estate into one cohesive plan. Your financial life deserves more than just a generic portfolio. Real planning isn't a stack of statements. It's the confidence of knowing where your income will come from for the next 30 years. Good enough isn't good enough for your family. It's time for a change. Schedule your complimentary consultation today. Call 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Private equity investments require accreditation. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Don't miss the Tree Farm's Array of Tree Sale, now through July 14th. See what's on sale at thetreefarm.com. Save 25 to 45% on thousands of 3 to 8-year-old shade and flowering trees. Choose from honey locust, linden, maple, oak, flowering crabapple, serviceberry, willow, and more. And save big on thousands of shrubs and perennials. The Array of Tree Sale. Come see.
You take I-25 to exit 235, then 5 miles west to the Tree Farm.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello.
Get up.
That's it. That's it. Welcome into Sunday morning. Mike Rice, Alex Becker in for the guys, Kyle and Cello, getting a Sunday morning off. Happy 5th of July. You recovered? It'd take you a few extra minutes to get up this morning?
Yeah, a little bit. I had a tough time getting to bed last night. I mean, the neighborhood was blasting fireworks until the wee hours, it seemed like, of the morning.
Man, it's crazy with all of the fire danger that's there and the fires that are around the state in various parts. And we're walking back. We went to the Englewood fireworks show in the city of Englewood, and thousands of people there. It was great, a lot of fun. And yet when we're walking back to the car, we walked through a neighborhood. And then when we're driving out of Englewood and through some of the neighborhoods of Littleton, along with everybody else, oh my goodness, the fireworks shows, we got treated over and over again. I know people get into it. It's never been my thing to shoot them off. I'm telling you, some people went crazy, and I know they do. I know it's nothing new, but I guess it just struck me, given a lot of the fire danger and all this year. But man, Kyle or Alex, that was something to behold, just on the drive out of Englewood.
They were celebrating last night for sure. I mean, 250th birthday, and I feel like they went a little extra this time around. And, they're having fun, and I think having it on a Saturday night too probably played even more into that.
Yeah, I would think so. 303-713-1043 on the RamosLaw.com text line. And the YouTube chat is powered by Champ Honda, and that is at the Fan YouTube page if you want to keep track of the show, chime in as well. We're going to get into a little bit of economics and explain in layman's terms why the Nuggets have some decisions to make and why the Rockies have some decisions to make on how much they want to spend on the roster. First off, I'm not a cap guy, but you don't have to know all of the ins and outs to know the parameters that teams are dealing with. Like, it's not hard from a dollar perspective of the repeater tax. So we're going to go through some of those things, put some ballpark-ish numbers to it, and just give you an idea of what the Nuggets are facing. Look, the bottom line is, this is the Kroenkes' money. We know this. This is their team. I hope they spend it. I do. So by doing this, it's simply informational and a little bit educational, which I figured, at 8:04 on a Sunday morning Alex, we can do it because I'm going to keep it simple. I'm not going to get way out into the weeds because when I get out into the weeds, I have no idea what I'm talking about. But big picture, there are some things that we can all grasp, and we do tend to, and I do it as well. We do tend to toss out things like, oh, the penalties in the second apron, the penalties that they don't want to be there. They're in the repeater tax, and what is it? But what does that really mean from a dollar perspective? So let's start with some of the groundwork, and that is, first off, the salary cap is at just under $165 million, which doesn't actually mean a lot. There's a floor that teams have to be at, and I think it's like 148 or 149, so they have to spend a minimum amount, and that's pretty obvious as to why. They don't want teams just, doing what some Major League Baseball teams do, which is have a payroll that's virtually nothing or relatively nothing, and then they're stocking up picks for years and years and all the rest. So that's self-explanatory, and that really doesn't affect a lot. So the luxury tax threshold is one to keep in mind. Just keep in mind $200 million. It's almost 200.5, but $200 million is where the luxury tax starts to kick in. The repeater tax is related to the luxury tax. If a team is in the luxury tax, or in this case, if a team finishes this league year, so the end of next June, a little less than a year from now, with a payroll of $200+ million, they are going to be credited, if you will, for a year in the luxury tax. And if a team is in the luxury tax for 3 out of 4 years, then they get taxed at a higher rate. So that's how that works. Let me explain. How much does a team pay for a luxury tax? If your payroll as an NBA team is $5 million or less more than the luxury tax. So if you're at 205, up anywhere between 200 plus to 205 million, every dollar over the luxury tax, you are writing a check for $1.50. Then the next 5 million, it's $1.75 for every dollar over. The next, so it's an escalating tax based on being in the luxury tax for 3 out of 4 years. So let's take the Nuggets. What does that mean for the Nuggets? Right now, the Nuggets have on the RamosLaw.com text line from the 9198. Brian, nobody told me there would be math. I'm just here for the coffee and donuts. I know, Brian. Yeah, but it's not math. Let me do the math. Just soak it in. Soak it in, because I think it's kind of fascinating. I love Brian. So the Nuggets payroll, Alex, right now is $211+ million. So let's just say it's $211 million. Did I say? Yeah, $211 million. That does not include any number for Marvin Bagley III. That does not include Tyus Jones. So if you add those two guys, and it doesn't include it because technically they are not Nuggets yet. It's not official. Should become official tomorrow, I believe, when the deals would get done and everything can get accounted for. So let's just say, because we know it's going to happen, and we'll take the reporting numbers, 3.5-ish for Bagley III, 2.4 plus for Jones. That puts the Nuggets up to about $217 million. Well, when you take the repeater tax, because right now, again, because they've been over the luxury tax at the end of the league year for 3 of the last 4 years, not last year, but the 3 years prior, and maybe more. I didn't even go back that far. The first $5 million that the Nuggets are over right now is going to be taxed not at $1.50 per dollar, but $2.50. So the first $5 million gets a tax bill of $12.5 million. And the Nuggets, remember, are right now about 17 million over the luxury tax threshold. So you can see how the tax bill for the Nuggets right now is, if I'm calculating this right, again, there's other things that come into play, but 50 million, 60 million. I mean, it's already, and we haven't dealt with Payton Watson yet. We haven't dealt with a potential LeBron James signing, even at a vet minimum. And so it's very easy to see how it gets expensive. If you throw in, Alex, what do you think would be a fair number to put on for P. Watt in terms of an AAV? If the Nuggets say, all right, P. Watt's coming back, we get a deal done with Rich Paul, Clutch Sports, and the whole gang, and Payton Watson's average value is what?
We'll say $26 million.
Okay, 26. I pulled 25.
25.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I think we're thinking along the same lines. So if you add 25 million, and maybe it's if it's a 4 or 5 year deal, maybe it starts a little bit below and then ends up more. It starts under 25, but the last year of the deal is 30 plus, whatever. Bottom line, let's just go with an average that seems reasonable. And 25, 26 seems reasonable. But if you add 25 million to 217, the Nuggets are now at 242 million plus in terms of payroll. That's almost $42 million over the luxury tax. And so every increment, these are the tiers of the luxury tax. Per $5 million, you're paying $2.50 per dollar for the first $5 million. For the second $5 million, $2.75. For the third, $3.50 for every dollar over the luxury tax that your roster is. If the Nuggets did not make another move and obviously added Bagley III and added Tyus Jones and added Payton Watson at a number of $25 million for the upcoming season, their luxury tax / repeater tax bill would be almost $190 million.
Wow.
And that doesn't even, and again, give or take, right? Again, big picture, ballpark. I'm not a cap guy, but I'm explaining the structure. And the structure's not hard to understand. It really isn't. I mean, it's just numbers. And like Brian said, it's math a little bit. And if you're not into math, I get it. And here's the other thing I'll come back to, Alex. This isn't for the fans to worry about. The fans want a winner. The fans want the owners to spend money. I get it. I'm totally there. I'm not advocating for the Nuggets to be cheap. I would love it if they paid north of $200 million. If you added a LeBron James contract, even a vet minimum contract, you're looking at, say it's $4 million. It's right about $4 million. That, from a tax bill perspective, is going to be multiplied by $6.75 per dollar. So LeBron James will cost not just $4 million in the money the Nuggets would pay him, but it would cost another 24 plus million, almost 28 million in money that the Nuggets then have to pay in taxes. And so this is why, based on what we've seen out of KSE and the way the organization has not been willing to go into the tax realm to this degree, and I'm not even saying I fault them for it. It's just fact. They have not been willing to pay that kind of money. I don't think they're going to be willing to pay that kind of money this year either, Alex. I don't think there's any chance anywhere on this beautiful earth of ours.
Doesn't seem like it. Based on their history, based on what you just laid out. So does that mean they're going to have to move off of a contract then?
Yes.
In order to make this work?
Well, I don't see how the answer to that is anything but yes. I think it has to be yes, because if you add Watson at about 25 and okay, now your payroll number is, let's just say 242. But you have to get down in order to reset the repeater tax. by June 30th. It doesn't have to happen before the season starts. It has to happen by the end of the league year. Next June 30th, they have to be under $200,428,000 in payroll, because that's the threshold for the luxury tax. So they could take it on now, see how the year goes, and then go, oh, it's fire sale time. And the problem with that, and this came up this week, is that other teams know the Nuggets situation, and they know that Nikola Jokic is lurking because he has a player option next year, which means if Joker doesn't like the direction the Nuggets are going in and he doesn't sign the extension, which he still hasn't signed it, I'm not saying he won't. I'm not even pessimistic about it. I think he will. If I were Jokic, though, there's no way I would sign it. There's just no way I would. I mean, he's made over $300 million or $400 million already. We went through that this week. And I want to pause here for a moment because we've gotten two questions on the RamosLaw.com text line. Where do the tax dollars go? They go to funding things in the NBA, and I'm going to look for my list. The WNBA gets a share of that money. And it also goes to revenue sharing. So you're basically putting money or some money in other teams' pockets when you're in the luxury tax, because 50%, if I remember this right, about 50% of the tax money that's collected from the teams in the luxury tax goes to revenue sharing. So the Nuggets are, and other teams too, the Nuggets will get money when other teams are in the tax. So it might be a net zero in terms of the money the Nuggets give out in tax, but they're going to collect some back, I would think, if other teams are in the tax. So, and there's other initiatives. I'll try and find it because I misplaced exactly. But it's sort of like league items and also revenue sharing to teams. It's split. So this is why, if the Nuggets bring back Payton Watson, given their history, given the Kroenkes' history of not wanting to have a tax bill anywhere close to $190 million or more, they have to get rid of a contract. Here's a contract they will get rid of, and that's Jonas Valanciunas. He's at $10 million. So you think, okay, well, that's chump change when it comes to the tax. No, it isn't, because right now, the Nuggets, with the signings of Bagley and Jones, even though technically, again, they're not on the books yet, but I'm considering them to be on the books as part of the 217. If you take $10 million off that, then you're down to 207, and your tax bill isn't $10 million less. It's a factor of probably almost $30 million less, because of the way repeater taxed teams, or teams who are in the repeater tax, are penalized at a higher rate per dollar over the luxury tax. Does that make sense, Alex?
It does.
Or am I just like, am I twisting you into a pretzel?
No. You're doing a great job explaining it. Very, very thorough here.
Okay. This is an interesting one from the 0693. The thing about the tax is they can also write it off on their income tax as a business expense. Okay, sure, but that's still a lot of money out of pocket. And it's a lot of money out of pocket when you consider that even if the Nuggets brought in LeBron, and let's just say they bring in LeBron at the vet minimum. I don't know that it would actually be the vet minimum. I'd have to see that to believe it, because teams do have the mid-level exemption, which is about $15 million, and you can prorate that. You can give pieces of that 15 to different guys. LeBron probably wouldn't be over that full number if the team that he's going to says, yeah, we'll commit that entire 15. He's probably going to be somewhere between the vet minimum and the mid-level exemption. So somewhere between 4 and 15 million. I don't think it's going to be 4. I'm not sure. In fact, I'd have to look. I don't even know if the Nuggets have the full 15 yet. And let's say you get rid of, so that's, let's call it, what do we want to call it? $8 million for LeBron?
That seems reasonable.
Okay. Again, we're pulling numbers out of the air. Let's say it's $8 million for LeBron. So that's an expenditure. And you spend $25 million on Payton Watson, that's $33 million. But you deal Jonas Valanciunas, and now that's $10 million off the books. So of your moves still made or still to be made, you're down from 33 to 23. So you're adding $23 million to what you're at right now, which is 217. So that puts you, again, right, but you're about where you'd be if you just signed P-Watt. They're not going to do that. I don't see it. I'll have to see it to believe it. I really would, Alex. And that's why I think when you talk about trading a Cam Johnson at $23 million, all of a sudden, that's a chunk. Or an Aaron Gordon at $31 million, your payroll gets a lot closer to $200. And this is where it makes a lot of sense when Josh Kroenke said in his post-game or postseason press conference, hey, we've been willing to go into the tax. We've been willing to pay. There's a whole lot of difference between what you're going to pay if your payroll's at 242 as opposed to 207, 210. I mean, if your payroll is $210 million, you're paying basically $25 million plus in repeater tax money. Okay. Now, that's a far cry from 190, tax break or not.
Massive difference.
Massive difference. And so I want to say again, I hope the Kroenkes pay whatever they can, whatever they want. Spend all the money. Because as a fan, I want a winner. And it's your job, Mr. Owner, to figure out how to get a winner for me and Nuggets Nation. I mean, that's what fans do, and I get it. I'm not even poo-pooing that. That's what fans should do. And yet, I don't think they're going to do that. This is a good one from the 8697 on the RamosLaw.com text line. And it goes back to a point that was the previous texter made. Wealthy people are tax savvy, but do not make business decisions based on taxes. The air quotes luxury tax is not a tax, though. It's a business expense, and that is something wealthy people watch closely. I agree with that. At some point, though, even if that business expense can be written off at some level, there's a business to monitoring that. I mean, it's not like it's just, it's free. It doesn't really cost us anything out of pocket. I mean, again, I'm not knowledgeable to know how all of the okay, what would their tax break be? That's getting into the weeds. I'm just trying to paint the picture of what the Nuggets would pay. And I do agree with the texter in that they call it a luxury tax. They call it a tax because it's paying something above and beyond, and you're not getting anything for it. Basically, you're paying the league money to fund programs and revenue share with teams because that's what the collective bargaining agreement stipulates, but you're not getting anything for that money. You're not getting a player or players for that extra money. So to me, it's really interesting. And I wanted to go through it at least a little bit, Alex, because I found the more I looked into it and the more I dug into it, it really puts a lot into perspective about what decisions the Nuggets have. They have to balance, how do we do what we can on the one hand to be championship relevant in the conversation. And I'm not sure they're in that conversation right now. I don't see them in that conversation. The only reason I pause a little is because of the health. I mean, they didn't have Gordon. They didn't have Watson. I don't know. Can they count on that next year? Don't know. They have to balance the basketball side versus how much money they want to pay for the opportunity to be in the conversation. That's really what it comes down to.
Do you have an inkling at all on how much they would be willing to go over the tax?
I don't. I mean, that's obviously, right, a Josh Kroenke question.
Right.
And if you look at the structure of their roster right now and their their numbers for this year, here's why you start to hear things like the Jamal Murray contract isn't a good contract for the Nuggets because he's due $50 million. Joker is due $59 million. Again, luxury tax threshold, $200 million. That's 55% of your luxury tax in two guys.
That's wild to think about.
It really is. It really is. So we shall see if the Nuggets can stay in the championship conversation and how much it will cost to do so. We shall also see if the Rockies' more competitive play is something that they'll be able to build on or is just a nice way to get ourselves to Broncos camp. That's next.
The Rockies aren't winning the West, but they might be one of the most fun teams in baseball now. Rookie TJ Rumfield is raking. Hunter Goodman's launching homers at a rate that has all-star voters and trade deadline scouts paying attention. Mickey Moniak is back healthy, and Sid Satella's having a career year out of the bullpen. The trade deadline's August 3rd. Who stays? Who goes? What's the new front office building toward? Denver Sports is all over it. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
If you're going to ask her to spend the rest of your life with you, shouldn't you give her a diamond worthy of that journey?
One that you can give her with no regrets?
A diamond that shines like no other.
That's why our family started Williams Jewelers over 75 years ago. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Bruce Williams. Today, Williams Jewelers is Denver's finest diamond engagement ring store with 10 times the selection of diamonds, engagement rings, and wedding bands you'll find in average stores.
Where you get a lifetime quality guarantee that protects you for the life of the ring.
A lifetime diamond upgrade guarantee.
A 30-day money-back price and total satisfaction guarantee.
And no regrets.
Give her a diamond worthy of her and your money's worth.
Say will you with Williams.
Where Colorado shines.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers in Cherry Creek North on 3rd Avenue between Fillmore and Detroit, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And right now, new mattresses start at $1,500 during our 4th of July sale. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's renter's insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the four walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Don't care for my local hometown team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Don't get fooled by out-of-state private equity corporations that are buying local HVAC companies, offering higher prices, bad service, and shady sales tactics. Don't trust your home to someone out of state when you have the best company right here in town. ROX are experts in local energy rebates and tax credits to save you money only at ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
When you've been hurt after a traumatic car crash, you don't need a sales pitch from an attorney with big promises and a loud voice. You need a team who fights for real results fast. That's why so many across the country choose the Berg Simpson Law Firm. Berg Simpson is nationally recognized, but is local right here in Colorado. So give us a call and let our team fight for the results you deserve today.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
For 90 years, Belco Credit Union has proudly called Colorado home. That's thanks to all our members who have helped us grow alongside our beautiful state. To celebrate our anniversary, Belco is offering a special low fixed rate on a new home equity choice line advance. If you've been waiting to start a new home renovation project, now's the perfect time. Go to belco.org/90 years to see full offer details. Equal housing opportunity lender. Membership eligibility required. All loans subject to approval. Belco, banking for everyone.
Hey guys, your boy Stink here, and if you're over 50, there's a good chance you're dealing with an enlarged prostate. Waking up at night, weak stream, all of it. Here's the good news. PAE, prostate artery embolization, is minimally invasive, done through a tiny pinhole, and you're home the same day. Most men who have PAE don't experience any sexual side effects associated with conventional prostate surgery. At Colorado Advanced Endovascular, their experienced team offers specialized prostate treatment with near zero impact on sexual function. Lakewood location, personalized care. Visit coloradoae.com.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello Romano.
Mike and Alex in for the guys this morning. Great to have you along. They are getting a well-deserved break, and it is good to do that. Good to be in with you, Alex, on this 5th of July.
5th of July, Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. Doing it easy. We're going to hook up with a good friend of ours, friend of the show, a guy who's been around baseball for just a little bit of time. Probably about 40, 50 years or so. Longer than that when you go back to his playing days, but that's way back in the Mesozoic era. Ed Henderson, who is a scout for the Guardians, covers the Rockies as well, joins us. Hendu, how are you on this Sunday morning?
Mike, good morning. Happy Independence Day weekend to you and Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. I must say, you're usually a night owl, but you're up. I love it.
Mike, it's been busy lately, and my schedule's been a little out of whack, but, hopefully going to catch up with a little break here of my own here before too much longer. But, yeah, up early today, beautiful day, and I guess we survived all the fireworks last night, huh?
I guess so. That is certainly a good thing. Wanted to talk a little Rockies with you. Also wanted to talk about just a really great new award that you have spearheaded over the last couple of seasons, last couple of years for high school baseball in the state of Colorado. But when it comes to the Rockies, Ed, they're 36-54. They won 43 games all of last year. Hunter Goodman's an all-star again. TJ Rumfield is National League Rookie of the Month in June. They're still trying to figure out the pitching. There's a lot they still have to work on, but I'm just going to put it out there because you followed this game for a long, long time and are really knowledgeable. Is this the start of something that can last?
I think so, Mike. You've seen the changes over the last several months. You first had, the addition of Paul DePodesta and Josh Burns, two experienced guys who have known sports and been around baseball for quite some time. Had success in other locations. Josh with 4 World Series rings. You bring him in, and he replaces somebody who was, in my mind, not very productive here for an extended period of time. And I think that kind of set the tone for what you were going to see follow. They gave an extension to Warren Schaefer, which I think was warranted. And I'm glad they brought him back. The players are playing for him, Mike. These young guys are jumping in, doing what they need to do. Are they going to be successful every game? No, they're not. Are they a better team than they were a year ago? I would say significantly. Will it really show up in 2026? I think you're starting to see signs of it, and I would tell you this, that there is an optimism down there now around the ballpark and around the press box and, among people who follow this game closely. People are feeling much, much better about this team, and I think that's a very positive step forward.
Yeah, it's also a low bar. I mean, clearly, when you've been a 100-plus loss team for the last several years, that's the first step, right? Just be competitive. Start to show signs that you're running the organization in a way that gives yourselves a chance to be better over the long haul. It's really tough, Ed, because we know there's an impending lockout, and it could very likely happen before next year begins. But let's put that off to the side for a minute. If that weren't on the table, would the Rockies be thinking about, and maybe they still are with it on the table, a longer-term deal for Hunter Goodman? Has he earned that?
I think he has. I'll tell you what, Mike, I've been watching his team for many, many years. And I think behind the dish, at the plate himself, offense, defense, the way he works with the pitchers, I think if there's a priority for this team, and there are, clearly, that's got to be one of them. This is a guy in Hunter Goodman that has demonstrated 2 years in a row now that he is a strong, consistent contributor in all phases of the game. You got to lock a guy like that up. We've not had anything like that here for quite some time, if ever, and at the catcher position. So I would tell you, Mike, I think that is a priority. I also think that there's other things that they have to look forward to. Obviously, that you've got that big iceberg laying out there a few miles ahead of you with that CBA and what it may or may not bring. I'm glad that they're at least having preliminary talks. Sorry that they didn't start a lot earlier, but I would say that I think the Rockies have got to be thinking not just about 2026, but what lies beyond it. And I think there's some moves that they need to make. One thing I would like to see them do, and you and I have talked about this for a long time, I'd like to see them finish up that Chris Bryant situation and clear him off the decks if possible. And I don't think he's going to be playing Major League Baseball much, if any more. It would be good to get out from underneath that cloud. But there's other things on the player side of things in terms of what they might be able to do in the free agent market, trades, and so forth. And I got to believe both DePodesta and Burns are looking at that.
Ed Henderson is with us, scouts for the Cleveland Guardians, and has just been around the game a long, long time and has covered the Rockies for decades. Ed, I know in recent seasons, it's not unique to you. A lot of us have been just discouraged. I mean, there has been no sign of life. I don't want to be too harsh, but in some cases, no sign of competency. Has that changed for you from what you've seen through the first unofficial half of this year?
Well, I'm a show me kind of guy, Mike. I will tell you that my sense is that it's certainly starting to. I'm more optimistic and encouraged over the last several months than I was certainly for the previous 3 or 4 or 5 years. I like what I'm seeing. I see more aggression on the base paths, not reckless base path running. I see all kinds of things that get me thinking, especially with some of the younger players that they brought in with Jake McCarthy, Cole Carrig. These are guys that I think bring a lot of pop to the game, and I think we're seeing the results of their being comfortable and settling in here. So, I think there's, without going too far out there, obviously we've all been burned in the past with what we hoped would be there and hasn't shown up. But I'm very encouraged by what I've seen so far this year, and I think Rockies fans in general have some things they can be excited about.
Yeah, I want to focus a little bit on pitching as we talk with Ed Henderson here, Mike and Alex in for Kyle and Cello. The pitching has been just a really difficult challenge for the organization because of elevation, probably some other factors as well. Will instituting and having more of a uniform philosophy through the organization help? Is that the first step? And how big of a mountain is this for the Rockies to get over in terms of having a pitching staff that's not only solid or better, but then having a farm system that's replenishing those arms?
Well, I think, Mike, that has been their biggest challenge over the span of their existence, right? I mean, I think perhaps they are settling in on a new strategy, and I don't know what we call that strategy, but I like what I'm seeing, although there's still a heck of a lot of work that needs to be done up and down through the organization, not just at the major league level, but at in the farm system and in the draft as well. I think drafting smart, drafting players that are either familiar with how to pitch at altitude or have, had some knowledge of it in their career, be it amateur or professional. I think, Mike, I'm starting to see some glimmer of hope there. And this has been a big, big obstacle for them for many, many years, as you know. I think that at this point, I'm feeling that they are trying to figure out the best path to achieve this. We've seen a number of good pitchers come in here over the years and fail, and we've seen guys from other teams that seem to be able to figure it out. So I hope the Rockies are working through that mental exercise right now and getting some results out of that. I'm encouraged in certain respects, but I think, quite honestly, and I think anybody who's followed this team for any length of time would agree, the biggest challenge they've got is trying to figure that whole situation out, and it isn't easy.
Final moments with Ed Henderson as we talk Rockies, 36-54. And Ed, while the early signs of what we all hope is some kind of turnaround, building to the future, whatever, are good, the fact of the matter is, and you alluded to it a moment ago, there's a ton of work for this organization to do. It is just getting started, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I got to give credit to the ownership group here in the sense that, Dick Monfort has kind of handed the keys to Walker. I think Walker has been very open to a number of new suggestions and opinions, and let's face it, has surrounded himself with some pretty good baseball people in DePodesta and Burns. And I think he's letting the baseball people make the decisions. I get the sense that there's more strategy going into things now rather than just rolling the dice and hoping. And I hope this is not, something that is going to fizzle out. I hope that this is a significant step in the right direction. My sense is that it is. Having said that, I also have to say that I believe fans have got to be patient, and I know it's hard to be with this organization based on what we've seen the last few years, but I think fans are going to have to be patient a little while longer. But I really do get the feeling, Mike, that they may be on the right path finally. And my goodness, wouldn't that be wonderful to see that?
Yeah, it sure would. Hey, Ed, before we let you go, I need to ask you about the Roy Halladay Award, which is something that you were the driving force to get the award founded and started. This was year 2. The award goes annually to a senior in the state of Colorado, a senior baseball player, student, and citizen. And the award is given out based on those 3 sets of criteria. You had the banquet a week or so ago. How'd it go?
It went well. We had a really fine representative winner this year, Mike, Corey Dean Carver from Montezuma Cortez High School. He was not able to be at the banquet because he is signed on to go to the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis. So we wanted him there on the 26th of June. The Navy had other ideas, but and the Navy won out on that.
Yeah, for sure.
But, Corey Dean Carver, a wonderful winner, young man that checked all the boxes. He's a terrific young man, and we were very, very pleased to meet Corey, his family. Corey was able to come to town a few days before the banquet, and we did some things with him down at Coors Field, and Channel 9. Jimmy Searfoss down there did a great job of shooting some video and some wonderful photos and so forth that were taken. Banquet went well. We
Good.
missed you, but we got through it. And, I think, Mike, we're establishing hopefully a nice award here in a way to not only acknowledge and recognize the talents that are out there among current high school senior ball players, but a tribute to Roy Halladay, somebody I knew very well and still maintain a great relationship with Roy's family. And so it was a wonderful experience. And so year 2 is in the books and onward and upward towards 2027.
Yeah, and to that end, number 1, how can coaches nominate their senior ball players? And number 2, how can people get involved if they want to help out, if they want to donate? Because it is a nonprofit award, a nonprofit organization, and people might want to chip in a little bit.
Mike, I'm glad you asked that question. Thank you. First of all, people wanting information, I would suggest to them that they go to our website, which has been up now for about 6-8 weeks. It's www.royhalladayaward.org. Again, www.royhalladayaward.org. It will, on that site, give you a good deal of information about donations, nominations, and so forth. In terms of the involvement of the coaches, that's critical, Mike.
Yeah.
In order for us to be successful, the coaches have to get involved and nominate a player and give us good data about that player. And I'm not talking about just their on-field performance, but as you mentioned, there's three criteria. There's the statistical side of it from their baseball achievements. There's their classroom achievements, and also, and all of these we view as equally important, and that is their citizenship, their character, their integrity. Corey Dean Carver scored high in all of those categories, and the coach wrote a really good nomination. So if the coaches want to help us out, it's important to give us some detail on the candidate that they're nominating. And thankfully this year, a lot of the coaches did that, and especially the coaches down in Montezuma. They really put together a very well-positioned packet of nomination for Corey, and it played out, and we were convinced we got one fine representative this year.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great work on that, Ed. I thank you for it. I know the baseball community here in Colorado does as well. Thanks for the thoughts on the Rockies. We'll hook up soon.
Sounds good, Mike. All the best. Alex, nice to talk to you as well.
You too, Ed.
All right, that's Ed Henderson talking Rockies, talking Roy Halladay Award. I will say this, Alex, that the Roy Halladay Award is really, really a cool award, and it doesn't happen without Ed. It just doesn't. He was the driving force, and to be able, much like the Golden Helmet Award recognizes, recognizes excellence in high school football in Colorado. That's the aim for the Roy Halladay Award. Roy is the best baseball player ever to come out of the state. I'm saying that thinking, am I missing anybody? But, Hall of Famer, and man, lost him way, way, way too soon. But to have this award, and the family was all in favor of getting behind this award, which is a tremendous piece as well. And yeah, Corey Dean Carver was a worthy recipient this year for sure. And that's the thing I think that it's important for coaches to understand is this is not a Denver award. This is a statewide award. And someone from the southwest corner of the state can win. Last year it was Wyatt Rudden of Cherry Creek who won. So there, I'm sure, will be Denver kids and players in the future that win. Maybe Northern Colorado gets represented, Eastern Plains. It doesn't matter. It's really about what Ed said. If the coaches put in that complete look at the player, that helps the committee. It just does. So it's awesome. Great award, the Roy Halladay Award, royhalladayaward.org if you'd like information. We are over for a break. We do have 3 questions coming up.
We sure do.
And that's on the way on this Sunday morning.
The Nuggets summer is heating up, and the biggest questions are still on the table. Will Nikola Jokic sign an extension or keep Denver holding its breath? Could a blockbuster Jamal Murray trade reshape the roster? And with Payton Watson hitting restricted free agency, what does the core look like moving forward? Stay locked in. Denver Sports has you covered all offseason long. Denver Sports, 104.3 The Fan.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Spine One. Let me ask you a question. You live with back pain, neck pain. Well, my guys at Spine One, they're an emergency room for back pain with same-day appointments. They'll see you and they'll get the journey started. And that's exactly what I did. Whether it's chronic pain, acute pain, work-related, sports-related, doesn't matter. All you got to do is pick up the phone and start your journey just like I did toward pain-free. 303-367-2225. That's 303-367-BACK. Or as always, you can find them online at spineone.com.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
a lot.
And that's important, trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
It's no secret that the checkout line feels a lot heavier. If those daily essentials are ending up on a credit card, those double-digit interest rates are quietly draining your bank account. If that debt is starting to feel heavy, you're not alone. And if you're a homeowner, you've likely looked at your mortgage rate and thought, I can't touch that. With American Financing's Smart Equity Loan, you don't have to. It allows you to wipe out high-interest debt and lower your monthly overhead while keeping your primary mortgage intact. It's a surgical strike against debt. Unlike a fluctuating HELOC, the Smart Equity Loan is a fixed-rate loan, giving you a predictable monthly payment. At American Financing, there are never any upfront fees to find out what you qualify for. Guys, talk to a salary-based mortgage consultant today. Experts who are paid to help you save, not sell you more than you need. So call them at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Most small business break-ins happen between 2 and 5 a.m. The owner finds out when they unlock the door at 7. Pull footage from a consumer system and you get a silhouette in a hoodie. Nothing identifiable. Vantage installs cameras that read a face in total darkness. And they don't stop at cameras. Access control, network, intercom, cabling, AV. One company, one number. Ready to invest in real security for your business or property? Call Vantage at 720-366-7759 or visit business.vssicolorado.com today.
It's easy to find your groove. As America celebrates, Groove Toyota, the oldest family-owned Toyota dealership in the Denver Metro, has more reasons to celebrate. Choose from hundreds of pre-owns, 40 under 15 grand. GrooveToyota.com. Plus, Groove Toyota has more than 100 used Toyotas, including Toyota Certifieds, with full warranties available. Hurry into our Red, White, and Drive event. Groove Toyota. Start here, go anywhere.
Offer expires 7/31/26. Not all will qualify. Restrictions apply. With approved credit, call 720-961-4465 for complete details.
Hey, Rob Biandino here at BeatTheDA.com. I've handled about 7,000 cases, over 300 trials. Man, I see so many bad stops on these DUIs, unlawful arrests, the police putting body cams off. The evidence is sketchy. We got to go get the evidence. We go find those cameras, the stores, the ATMs, the banks. We got the experts to challenge their breath tests, their blood tests. My office has over 100 years experience at this stuff. Hit me up at BeatTheDA.com or 720-706-5151.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello Romano.
Kyle and Cello getting the morning off. Mike and Alex in for another hour plus. Now, normally, Alex, right about this time, a little bit earlier, you have 3 questions for the guys. And you do have 3 questions this morning, but we're going to just push it back to just after 9 o'clock. Had the chance to catch up with Ed Henderson, talk Rockies, talk Roy Halladay Award, which was cool. It's always good to have Hendu on and get his perspective on all of that. And again, if you're interested, if you are a baseball coach in the state of Colorado, especially a varsity baseball coach, please go to the website. If you're not at all familiar about the Roy Halladay Award, go to royhalladayaward.org. Find out about the nomination process. The award annually goes to the top senior baseball player, student, and citizen. So community work, community activity, citizenship, character, all of that definitely taken into account. It's not just did he hit 550 this year with 12 home runs and 38 RBIs. That's a part of it, but it's a great award. It truly is, and it's going to continue to grow. And Corey Dean Carver of Montezuma Cortez down in the southwest corner of Colorado, the winner And Ed is right. I mean, you talk about an impressive young man going to the Naval Academy. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to make the awards banquet. We'll send mom and dad instead. Alex, it's high-level stuff right there. And he had a tremendous year on the field as well. So take advantage of that if you are, especially if you're in a varsity program, not the varsity head coach. Tell your coach about it. And next year, and there's Kyle Newman of the Denver Post is one of the driving forces behind this as well. And so Kyle sends out all the correspondences and coordinates all of the nominations and all. Great stuff. You've got 3 questions ready. Don't start in, but you've got them ready?
I got them ready.
Can you tease, like, what are they related to a particular sport? Are we going hodgepodge? What are we doing?
Well, they kind of, some of them tie into what we've been talking about with the LeBron James with the tax. But, yeah, more Nuggets talk is hopefully this will be a big week or the next couple weeks.
All right.
Coming up.
We shall see. The questions are on the way on this Sunday morning.
The countdown is on. Broncos training camp is less than a month away. Rookies report July 22nd. Veterans hit Broncos Park powered by Common Spirit on the 28th. Bo Nix is expected back at full speed. Sean Payton skipping joint practices to maximize every rep. And it all builds toward a season opener on Monday Night Football against the Chiefs. From camp battles to kickoff, Denver Sports has you covered. Denver Sports, 104.3 The Fan.
I love days like these at the pool, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. I'm ready to make a splash with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza. Skyrizi is a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. At 4 months, most people saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe, and many were even 100% plaque-free. People also saw significant improvement in psoriasis symptoms of pain, redness, itching, and burning.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Now there's nothing on my skin thanks to Skyrizi, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Guys, are you looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get Advanced Hair's breakthrough one-day treatment during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during Advanced Hair's best offer ever. For details and a free consultation, call 720-459-HAIR or at advancedhair.com.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And right now, new mattresses start at $1,500 during our 4th of July sale. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's finally here, and we're kicking it off with a whole lot of free. Free brake pads with Duralast rotors. Free oil filter with 5 quarts of oil. Free Armor All wipes with Armor All glass cleaner, and more. More free, so you can have more summer. Celebrate free at AutoZone. Now through July 27th. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And right now, new mattresses start at $1,500 during our 4th of July sale. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know you can't cook. You're not one of those people who say that they can, but when people come over for dinner, they find out the hard way, you can't. You can't even microwave popcorn, and that's literally just one button. Plus, measuring and patience are huge parts of cooking, and that's just not you. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
A lot of personal injury lawyers make claims about how good they are. But how do you know who's the best? At Berg Simpson Injury Lawyers, we've helped Coloradans for 50 years, and our results speak for themselves. We have 29 best lawyers in America, 19 super lawyers, and we're one of the National Trial Lawyers' top 25 most influential law firms. Compare us to other firms, then call Berg Simpson.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello Romano.
With you this morning. 1 hour to go, 2 hours down, 1 to go. I had some good conversation. Really good to catch up with Ed Henderson, who is an MLB scout, has been for decades, and has followed the Rockies, covered the Rockies as well. And we'll get back to some baseball discussion. But we have to get back to, or get to, our 3 questions. Every Sunday, Kyle poses 3 questions to, or I should say Alex poses 3 questions to Kyle and Cello, and let's get to it.
And they answer them sometimes better than others, but yeah.
Yeah, take a shot while they're out.
No.
Why not? Why not? I love it.
Okay, in the leadoff spot, to go along with a lot of what we've been talking about in the first couple hours, NBA insider Jake Fisher reported, as one of the realistic suitors for LeBron James, the Denver Nuggets begin their negotiations with restricted free agent Payton Watson in earnest. Sources say Denver is not working under the cap crunch many rival teams once projected. So my question is, if the Nuggets were to pay Payton Watson, sign LeBron, and then enter the second apron, do you think the anger or maybe restlessness from the fan base would be gone?
Wow, that's a great question. I think here's why that's a complicated one. And the answer right off the top of my head is I wouldn't presume to speak for the fan base in general. And judging by, say, some of the RamosLaw.com text line input over the last couple days when Justin and I were in for Zach and Phil on the drive, it's some people would welcome LeBron, others wouldn't. So I don't know. I'm going to stick to a basketball situation, and I would think that, I don't know, man. I think it's split in the fan base. I really do. For me personally, I'm not a big LeBron guy. I don't like the production value that he puts into everything, and everything seems to be calculated and marketed and all the rest. I understand that's part of what NBA players do. But for me personally, it would show me that they're serious about at least trying to stay in the championship conversation. I don't think LeBron coming would put the Nuggets into a front runner's position by any stretch, but I think they'd be one of the teams that could potentially get it done. So, but I don't know how I really don't know how the fan base would react. Let's open up the RamosLaw.com text line for that. Do you, simply put, forget the basketball and all of that, or maybe that's part of the equation. Do you want the Nuggets to go down the LeBron road? Do you want it? And everything that comes with it, because it's not just another guy. It's likely a farewell tour. It's the theatrics. It's the coaching. It's all of that. What about you, Alex? How do you see it all?
I would like, I'd be more in favor of it. I've never been a LeBron guy, kind of like you, Mike, but I've seen about half of them saying no thank you as far as the fan base, and the other half totally welcoming it. Like, take a swing, bring LeBron James into town. It would only do positive, especially if you don't have to trade in Aaron Gordon to get him. I think that would be best case. Whatever restlessness that I have right now would be gone if they were able to acquire LeBron James, King James himself.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing that's implied in that, Alex, is all right. If they're going to bring in LeBron James, you're not doing that because to get out of the repeater tax, you have to be under the luxury tax for 2 years in a row. But hey, figure that out next year.
Right.
I mean,
it's tough to say how much better he would make the team too. Like, would they leapfrog Oklahoma City and San Antonio? I wouldn't go that far, but from an IQ standpoint, I think from a ball handling standpoint, they would be a better team, even with an aging 41-year-old LeBron James who hasn't, kind of towards the end of the year, he was more of a playing in a player type role with the Lakers the last 15, 20 games. So I'm not sure how much better they're getting on the court. I would say a few wins. I don't know if they would beat Minnesota in the first round if they had LeBron James. Tough to say. But just the idea of him coming here is very intriguing.
Well, it's interesting. From the 1085 on the RamosLaw.com text line, with respect to LeBron, the Nuggets need to get younger. So there's that element of it. And then from the 4876, Jeff from Littleton, how could a fan be upset about adding LeBron, re-signing Watson, and not worrying about the cap costs? Of course it's a positive. And that's kind of the way I look at it. Look, hey, figure out this year, do what you can to maximize another prime year of Nikola Jokic, and then worry about all the taxes. If the Cronkies are willing to pay them all. I'm still not convinced of that. I think if they bring in LeBron and they bring Payton Watson back, I still think there's at least one deal that they're going to make. And that would not include whatever they do with Big Val. I think he's going to be gone regardless because they have to get that money off the books, and they signed Marvin Bagley III, and you don't need both of those guys.
It sure seems like he's going to play in Lithuania or the EuroLeague team for sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
So.
I mean, we'll see. But I think it's pretty clear he's not going to be with the Nuggets.
Right. Okay. This would be worst case scenario, but if Nikola Jokic were to not sign a new deal after the season and leave for another team, do you think fans would be more upset with Jokic or Josh Kroenke in that situation?
I don't know how fans, and again, it's a little presumptuous to try to speak for the fan base, but I don't know how fans could be upset with Jokic. I mean, he brought the Nuggets their first ever title. He has blossomed here. He has embraced the city. He has said that he wants to be in Denver for his entire career. He's done everything to be the right kind of player, person, superstar. Man, I mean, I pause because just the thought of Joker not being here, I don't want to go there, Alex. But I would think if people are going to point a finger, that it would be like, hey, I mean, the organization's got to figure out how to take advantage of having a player like that. And given the way Jokic has played, what he's achieved, and how he's conducted himself, I don't think the fans would have any ill towards Joker.
Would you see that as kind of an apples-to-apples comparison to Nolan Arenado when he won it out at the end of his Rockies tenure?
No, I think the Nolan situation was completely different. And boy, this is one that it rankles me still a little bit. And I love Nolan Arenado. And when he came up with the Rockies, tremendous young player. And look, we know the Rockies have not always it hasn't always been a smooth sailing front office. We know this. At the same time, I think Nolan did a good job of putting all the onus back on the organization, and they didn't handle everything right in that. But at the same time, Nolan was kind of shopping himself around as he's signing the long-term deal with Colorado. And people didn't want to talk about that at the time. Many people, because of their disdain for the Monforts, still don't want to talk about it. And again, they didn't handle everything right in that situation. I'm not giving them a free pass. and things did escalate, shall we say. Part of the reason they escalated was Nolan himself. Nolan went public. Nolan went to the Denver Post. So there's elements on both sides. So I think the fans side with Nolan primarily because they wanted the Rockies to keep a great player, potential Hall of Fame player. And there's also been a lot of angst towards Rockies ownership, and they were an easy target when things transpired the way they did. How do you see it that way?
Not really. Yeah, I
Really?
see totally different situations. Or comparing the Jokic to Nolan Arenado. It wouldn't be the same to me. And I would think fans would be way more upset with Josh Kroenke if Jokic were to ever leave, because he's given everything the fan base could want and more. They really hit the jackpot in the second round in 2014 when they got him. So I don't think there would ever be any ill will towards Nikola Jokic, greatest Nugget of all time in my opinion.
Right, yeah. Exactly. And I don't know. I mean, man, think about when you said that. I thought he's always going to be the greatest Nugget of all time. And then, well, there's always, you never know. But man, to think about somebody even close to the same ability level, success level as Jokic coming to Denver, that.
3-time MVP, possibly should be more.
Yeah, well, definitely should be more. And man, I'm just trying to soak up every last game that he plays with the Nuggets, and I hope there are many more to come.
Absolutely. Okay, final one here. LeBron has had discussions about filming this entire upcoming NBA season for a documentary series. I think most believe this will be his final season in the league. Do you think this would be enough of a distraction where some teams would not want the LeBron circus all season, as it would kind of be like Hard Knocks for 8 straight months?
No, I don't think so at all. I think guys in the NBA are used to the limelight, and I think they obviously know who LeBron is, what he's accomplished, the legacy he's going to leave, likely after this year, as you said, Alex. So I think the Nuggets have enough veteran leadership in that room between Joker, AG, Murray, even a Christian Brown. Well, Christian Brown might take umbrage. I mean, he is the vocal leader after.
Okay, yeah. Step aside, LeBron.
Just having a little fun on a Sunday morning. Obviously, Payton Watson would know. I mean, these guys would know. And I'd like to think they'd be professional enough to go about their business the way they need to. So
I think a lot of them, like even a young guy like Peyton Watson, who grew up maybe idolizing him, would be thrilled to share a floor with LeBron James. So the whole entourage, the whole circus, I'm with you. Wouldn't deter anyone.
I think the most interesting, or one of the more interesting aspects of LeBron potentially coming to Denver would be, how does that affect David Adelman? How does it affect the staff? Because we've seen Joker in recent years become more active in, air quotes, the coaching side of things, talking to guys as they're coming off the floor, really being demonstrative and trying to, what I would consider, coach them up in certain ways. That may be the wrong term. I'm not saying he's trying to be a coach, but there's been more of an involvement in that process, and we know LeBron does that. I mean, sort of the joke is that he's a player coach and that he sort of makes head coaches irrelevant, but then when things don't go well, it's the coach who takes the fall. So I think it would be really interesting. And then you add the extra layer of the Nuggets wanting to bring in a veteran assistant coach to sort of be there at the right hand of David Adelman and maybe show him some of the ropes, if you will, and some of the finer points after, I think, some turbulent times last year, especially in the postseason. So to me, that's a really interesting dynamic should LeBron come to Denver.
That's a great point. I think that might be one of the biggest dynamics. I just don't see David Adelman, getting on LeBron, telling him, you need to do this and do that. It's more LeBron telling the coaching staff, I've been in this league 20-some years, and this is how things are done. I don't see it the other way around.
It hasn't been Adelman's MO to really get on anybody, at least not publicly.
Not that we've seen.
Right, and certainly not the way he speaks about his players after games and all that. He's taking criticism, and I think to a certain degree, rightly so, about sort of not calling them out in the way that Michael Malone did. And yet there was a lot of discussion about how that likely wore thin with a lot of guys over time. So I still hope LeBron comes. I still hope they make it work, mainly because I think it signals that the Nuggets are more serious about this year in terms of the basketball and where they are in the championship conversation. But if I had to put money down, it would not be on the Nuggets to land LeBron.
I would put them fourth at best.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I think that's probably about right. I think Cleveland, Philly, and Miami would all probably and I don't know how to look at the Golden State situation, because it sure seems like LeBron going to Golden State hinges on the Warriors acquiring Anthony Davis from the Wizards, and the Wizards have at least publicly said, I do think it could easily be a smokescreen, that, hey, we have no interest in trading Anthony Davis. And they're, trying to load up a little bit too and get out of the doldrums from where they've been. So I do think the Nuggets are a viable option. They're just not the most likely viable option from everything I look at when I try and read between the lines.
And hey, Cleveland yesterday clearing a spot for Bronny James. If that has something to do with it, if LeBron wants to play his final year with the Sun again.
Yeah. So, who do you? I think Cleveland. I think Cleveland is the final chapter for James that ties everything together. I mean, he's been there. Obviously, he's from there. We know that. But he's been there on a couple of occasions. He won a championship there. And, I mean, why wouldn't you want to close out there? Would the Cavs have the best shot to win? No. But he'd be a nice addition. And, again, they've got some roster stuff to figure out, too. And their ownership would have some decisions about taxes and all of that.
I would think Cleveland would be the most likely spot, and he would get everything he wanted there, too. It would just kind of come full circle. And him being older right now, he's got more of a perspective, and I think just going back there one more time probably makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Miami, Golden State, also right up there.
I want to go back to something we talked about at the top of the show because it relates to LeBron. And we heard quite a bit of sentiment this week from some fans, and I think it's split. I don't think there's any consensus. And if you'd like to weigh in on whether or not, as a Nuggets fan, you want LeBron to say, you know what, it is the Nuggets. That's the destination. 303-713-1043 on the RamosLaw.com text line, and the YouTube chat is powered by Champ Honda. But, Alex, is LeBron to Nuggets fans seen as a villain? In a good way, in a sports kind of way, not in a life and death way, not in a real, but just in the fact that fan bases get their guys. It's like, nope, I mean, Josh McDaniels fills that role. Maybe the New England Patriots as a team fill that role for Broncos country. Maybe for a much different reason, as you pointed out earlier. I mean, Todd Bertuzzi instantly came a villain to Avalanche fans and many hockey fans in general, I might add, for the Steve Moore incident all these years ago. But would Nuggets fans, do you think, see LeBron as a villain in a way that's like, nope, he might be able to help us, but I want no part of that guy and everything he brings?
I think some people would feel that way. To me, he's not a villain, as in the sense that those other guys you mentioned are. When the Nuggets swept the Lakers in the 2023 Western Conference Finals, I'm sure every Nuggets fan was over the moon about that sweep. But to me, he's not on that same level as a Kobe, as a Phillip Rivers, as a Todd Bertuzzi. So if you were to pick the Nuggets, I feel like most people would be more thrilled that he chose the Nuggets instead of saying, hey, this has been our enemy for this long, and I want him to stay on that side.
Bill in Iowa, who is a longtime Denver resident, checked in on the RamosLaw.com text line. Personally, guys, what made the Nuggets so special in their championship year is they didn't pair up or have 3 so-called superstars on the roster. I'm so sick of these superstars moving to teams with another superstar trying to get a championship ring, so let LeBron find his way onto another team. And yeah, I think most of us do agree, as another person texted in, that yeah, of course it's going to be the Cavs, and I think it likely will be. I'd be a little surprised if it didn't end up being Cleveland because of the homecoming and all the rest. But to Bill's point, there was a genuine feel to the Nuggets during the championship year that they don't have right now. I don't think it's necessarily all due to the point that Bill is making. I think part of it back then was they've got this great generational talent in Jokic, and they've been sort of building towards trying to get into the championship conversation in a meaningful way, and yet now there's just that freshness, there's that uniqueness, there's, hey, we've never been here or done this. They had the 2-man game. Aaron Gordon, I think, in large part became he was such a talented player. His game wasn't as complete as it is now with the outside shooting element. And then the way he endeared himself to the fans after the championship was awesome. And so I think, again, in just talking about Bill's point, Alex, it wasn't quite apples to apples. It becomes something different after you've won and you're trying to sustain it. And, oh, by the way, there's some pressure to do it for Jokic to really cement his legacy, not just as the best Nugget of all time, but as, say, potentially a top 5 or top 8 player in the NBA of all time. And that's usually going to happen when you have more than one ring. So I don't know. Man, I think the whole ring chasing is a thing in the NBA. There's no getting around that. And the difference now is that whereas before superstars sort of picked their teams through free agency, well, the contracts and the economic structure, which we talked about earlier with the taxes, the luxury tax, the repeater tax, the apron, both of them, the first and second aprons, that make it really hard for superstar players to pick their teams through free agency, because teams have big contracts on the books and they don't want another one because it just costs too much in extra taxes. And so it's, how do we sort of force our way onto another team by trade? I think that's happened more. I think that's happened more for sure. Now, in LeBron's case, he's already said, I don't need the big contract. I'm not going to force my way onto a team for a big contract. It's going to be vet minimum to mid-level exceptions, probably. We don't know, but that's a lot of the reporting. In that $3 to $15 million, that's a whole lot different than 35 or 45 or 50+ million for a team.
Big difference, right? Huge. And I think what does maybe work in the Nuggets' favor is he's close to the Cronkies. He's good friends that they've vacationed together before. And I think just having that relationship goes a long way at this point in their negotiations.
All right, we've got a lot to get to still. Mike and Alex in for Kyle and Cello. We're going to reset. We're going to wake up again and reset next.
Colton, Drury, and Nichushkin all gone. New faces are already in the fold, with the entire blue line back as well after a Western Conference final sweep that still stings. How will the Avs retool around McKinnon for another cup run? Every trade, every signing, every take. Denver Sports has you covered all summer long. Denver Sports, 104.3 The Fan.
If you're practicing real estate in Denver but still not getting the results you want, listen up. Agents who are winning in this market aren't guessing. They've got the right training, the right systems, and the right support. And that's exactly what you get at Weichert Realtors Professionals. Proven strategies to win more listings, technology that keeps you connected anywhere, and coaching that actually helps you close. Take your business to the next level. Call Tim Davis at Weichert Realtors Professionals at 303-302-4000. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Colorado, it's time to take our recycling to the next level. That's why Recyclon Colorado is bringing you more curbside and drop-off service from peaks to prairies. Guidelines as clear as our skies, so you know what goes where. And the price? As free as gawking at bighorns on I-70. You deserve a recycling system you can count on, like your puffiest winter coat. And we're here to give it to you. Learn more at recyclon.org/Colorado.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
The sounds of summer. They're great until they're not. Luckily, AutoZone has free battery testing and charging
Let me check that for you.
to help make a rough moment smooth. Don't miss the Celebrate Free event at AutoZone. Free products with select deals until July 27th. And free services every day. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Stoke here from my local hometown team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. I have known the Rocks team for years. They have serviced my own house. Right now, out-of-state private equity corporations are buying local HVAC companies, providing higher prices, bad service, and shady sales tactics. When it comes to your heating and cooling needs, go with the local Colorado team I know and trust. ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
No! USA is up 2-0. That is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
Relax, Mike.
See that, Dan? My left eye is twitching. That's my warning eye. It'll be 2-2 by stoppage time. It's never wrong.
With early payout from Bet365, I got paid the second they went up 2 goals. So to me, it's now the safest lead.
Early payout from Bet365, huh? Now my right eye is twitching, Dan.
Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Colorado. T's and C's apply. In-app only.
Rob Dino here at BeatTheDA.com. I've handled over 7,000 cases, 300 trials. Let's face it, divorce is really impactful. You may have a controlling spouse. You may have a violent spouse. You may have been a victim of a domestic violence. You may be wrongfully accused of domestic violence. This all affects parenting rights. And let's face it, the kids are the most important. These are the things that need to be handled. They need to be handled appropriately by someone that's going to protect your kids and protect your rights. Hit me up at BeatTheDA.com, 720-706-5151.
Incredible savings this 4th of July at Mountain High Appliance. Hi, I'm Brad Barnett, president and founder. Get a GE front-load washer and dryer for only $14.99. Save $1,200. How about a crazy price on an entire stainless steel 4-piece kitchen for only $17.76? Whether you're replacing one appliance or remodeling an entire kitchen, you'll find top brands and expert advice at Mountain High Appliance. Why shop anywhere else?
Mountain High Appliance, your favorite appliance store.
Thank you.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. Rise and shine, Colorado.
Good morning, Vietnam.
The sports world never sleeps, and neither do we.
Why don't you wake up and smell what you're shoveling?
So here's Kyle, Reese, and Marcello Romano with your wake-up call.
Just a wake up.
Maybe Kyle and Cello are just sleeping in today. I don't know, but they're off. My guy Sean Boyd is back there. What is up, Sean? Good to see you. Hey, he can't. He's busy. Alex, he's busy. Mike Rice, Alex Becker. There he is. Got the salute. Thank you, sir. In for the guys, and really, really fun to spend some time with you. We'll check in with the judge, the Honorable Dan Jacobs, in just a bit, as he will take over at 10 o'clock. Alex, as we reset and get to our wake-up call, we continue the LeBron talk, only because I want to get to a couple of comments and notes on the RamosLaw.com text line. Jerry from The Rock. Hell no. Don't want LeBron. Hate the way he plays. Hate the distraction that comes with him. The juice is no longer worth the squeeze. Man, oh man. Jerry laying it down. Are you that strong?
It's a hard no.
You think? I'm not that strong. I don't actually disagree with Jerry in a lot of his points, but I want the Nuggets to be as relevant as possible, and I think that's one way that could happen. And it would be a circus, but I think they could handle it. I'm not saying I'd like it. From Shane up in Berthoud, shout out Northern Colorado. Swear to you, when I heard if we got LeBron, I told my girlfriend I am not going to watch the Nuggets next year. I can't stand flopping at all. There's that element, and hey, I'm not the only one on this station and in Nuggets Nation that gets on SGA for all that stuff. And you know what? Here's the double whammy with flopping to me with guys like SGA and even LeBron. It's not just the flopping. It's then the palms up, the animated expression on the face if they don't get a call. It's like, come on, man.
Well, those guys have never committed a foul in their entire playing career, right?
That's exactly right. That's exactly correct. Yeah. I would still watch the Nuggets, though. If they got Bron, I would still watch them.
Of course.
I absolutely would.
And I think everybody else would. They're going to lead SportsCenter every single night with their highlight package. You know, it's going to be Nuggets LeBron. They're going to be on First Take with Stephen A. and the guys. It's going to be full-on Nuggets.
From the 2044 Nuggets 2023, perfectly timed with their Bring It In motto, chemistry of team/buy-in to Malone's style and voice, and also the low-seeded opponents in the postseason. Yeah, I mean, that was certainly a factor. And you take it, you make no apologies. But that was a piece of the puzzle. I just want the Nuggets to be relevant. And just to reset, in case you missed our conversation in our segment at 8 o'clock, we went through NBA Economics 101 and explained a little bit in a general sense, in a big picture way, why the Nuggets have a decision to make about how much they want to spend. And just to summarize in maybe 2 minutes or so, there's the salary cap of just under $165 million. There's the luxury tax of, call it $200 million. It's 200 plus. And if a team is in the luxury tax for 3 out of 4 years, then they are penalized more by being a repeat offender of being over the luxury tax, hence the term repeater tax. And the repeater tax is simply an increased rate at which teams are taxed or fined, or whatever word you want to use, for every dollar that they're over the luxury tax. So for the first $5 million, if you're over the luxury tax and you're not a repeater, then every dollar over the luxury tax, you have to pay $1.50. So a $5 million contract would cost the team $7.5 million if they're within $5 million over the luxury tax. If you're in the repeater tax, instead of getting fined or charged $1.50 for every dollar you're over the luxury tax in the first $5 million, you get charged $2.50. So that's a lot different. That's $12.5 million for being over that same amount. So you can see where it adds up very quickly. Now, and it escalates. So when you're between 5.01 and $10 million, you're paying $2.75 for every dollar over that. So you can see where all of a sudden the Nuggets right now, when you add the Bagley and Jones deals into the equation, they're healthily, that's not a word, they are in the tax bracket that that the Cronkies have not wanted to be in. I'll just put it that way. Whether or not they would this year, I don't know. Actions will dictate everything. It's not what they say. It's not about, to me, as Josh Kroenke said in his postseason, end of season press conference, said, we've been willing to go into the tax. Yeah, he has. But are you willing to go 190 million in, 200 million in, 200 plus it? That's a whole different ball game that we're talking about. All right. So we reset there. How about the Avalanche? We got to reset the Avs for a minute. Alex, they're working on the extension with Cale Makar, but we have to keep an eye on what happens with Minnesota Wild defenseman Quinn Hughes. Elliot Friedman is one of the premier NHL reporters in the country. He's with Sportsnet in Canada, and we know how they love their hockey in Canada. He said before free agency began that his big whopper prediction was Quinn Hughes gets a 3-year deal with the Wild for $18 million per. Now, there have been various amounts that have been tossed around with Cale Makar. Would Cale be willing to go down as low as 14 or 15 and give the Avs a hometown discount? Is he going to push 20? Here's the question. Both are entering their final years. Makar's around $9 million. I think Hughes is in that 7.5 to 8 range this year. If he takes the shorter deal, forget the length for a minute, but it's at 18 a year. Will Cale Makar say to his agent, hey, I got to be above 18? Would he take that tack? And so if, and we don't know, but if Hughes gets that kind of number on average, did Makar's price go up?
I would think so. And was it the Anaheim Ducks center Leo Carlson just signed 5 years, $90 million? That's 18 mil AAV. It's the highest in NHL history.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's really the next step, and I think the league's rapidly escalating salary structure. So, yeah, it impacts Hughes. It impacts Makar, Nikita Kucherov even, too. So, yeah, it's just going to keep going up, I think.
I don't see Makar giving the Avs a hometown discount to the tune of 14 or 15 million. But I also have a hard time seeing him say, I gotta crack 20, guys. I gotta become the first $20 million a year player. I mean, he could. He might say that. I'm not sure he would. I think it's going to settle somewhere in that 17, 18 range. Now, it might be longer, too. That's the other thing to look at, because Carlson,
right,
as you said, got 5 years, and Friedman's prediction on Hughes was 3 years at what would be 54-ish million or 18 million a year over a shorter deal. So that may factor in too. The Avs may say, look, we're willing to go a longer term, but you got to bring that number down per year a little bit. Maybe not to 14, but also maybe not at 18. So but in generally speaking, Alex, I don't see this as being incumbent upon the players. Generally.
It's more so the market.
Well, the market, and also I think the organization just has to have a handle on how much they're paying each guy, and as guys come up and as the cap numbers change and all the rest, they have to stay on it. And I think the Avs have done a really good job of that. I do think this is not apples to apples with Mikko Rantanen and the Avs not wanting to pay Rantanen more than they did McKinnon. And Cale Makar is going to earn more than Nate McKinnon. I think that's pretty obvious. All right, let's reset with the Rockies. They lost to the Giants last night, 6-4. How about Hunter Goodman, though? Yesterday found out he is on the National League All-Star team that will play at Citizens Bank Park in Philly on July 14th. The Rockies catcher has tied Larry Walker's pre-All-Star break home run mark of 27, and he has 50 RBIs. He has said he wants to be in the home run derby. MLB, make it happen. Got to make it happen.
You got to have this guy in there. As a catcher hitting that many home runs, he wants to do it, especially too. He had his dad, I think, throwing batting practice to him before the game last night and the night before. It all makes sense.
So we had Ed Henderson on earlier, who's a scout and has also covered the Rockies for years, been a lifelong baseball guy. And he voiced some optimism that what we're seeing out of the Rockies could be the start of some lasting change for the better. It's hard to get change for the worse from where the Rockies were last year at 43 wins, and they're already at 36. I agree with Ed, and yet at the same time, we both know, and I think you do too, this train is like just getting coal into the fire, right? I mean, it's not even starting down the track yet. There is a ton of work to do, but I think there could be some interesting pieces. I know Tovar's locked up, and I know he's had a rough time offensively. Defensively, he's still terrific, and he plays a premium position up the middle. Hunter Goodman with an up-the-middle position, handling the balls and strikes behind the plate, and what he has been able to do in blossoming this year and going back to last year. I'm hopeful. They've got to get the pitching figured out. They got a ton of work to do there, but I'm hopeful that these are some early signs of guys that they can, maybe Mickey Moniak joins the group of guys they can kind of say they have a future with our franchise.
Yeah. I'm a Carrick guy, too. Cole Carrick in center. He looks the part. He reminds me of Tulowitzki a little bit when he first came up. Like, he's got an edge to him, tons of energy. He's not like these other prospects. He's a little bit different, and that was evident right away.
Yeah, and TJ Rumfield, National League Rookie of the Month for June. I'm hopeful.
Right.
I'm hopeful.
Still 5.54 ERA, worst in the majors as a team. So that's always.
Well, I don't look at the Rockies team ERA I would expect it to be in the bottom third at the very least, if not the bottom five.
Right, just naturally.
Naturally, the elevation, and it's not just the elevation, it's the size of the outfield. I mean, that's, you get dink hits at Coors Field, and that's going to help inflate your ERA over time, let alone the home runs and all of that. But I look at, number one, the bullpen. Can they protect leads? Can they be an impact to the positive? That hasn't been the case this year for the most part. And number two, can you have guys with that bulldog mentality who keep you in the game, knowing that, hey, if you're down 4-0 like they were last night in the first, there's a lot of baseball left at Coors Field. There's going to be plenty of games that you're able to rally because the other team's pitchers don't call this home for half of the season. So it's not just the team ERA that I look at, although I would like it to improve a little. I think we can all agree on that. All right, we'll catch up with the judge, set the table for Dan Jacobs and his show coming up next.
The Rockies aren't winning the West, but they might be one of the most fun teams in baseball now. Rookie TJ Rumfield is raking. Hunter Goodman's launching homers at a rate that has all-star voters and trade deadline scouts paying attention. Mickey Moniak is back healthy, and Sensatella's having a career year out of the bullpen. The trade deadline's August 3rd. Who stays? Who goes? What's the new front office building toward? Denver Sports is all over it. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
2026 is shaping up to be an amazing year to buy a home in Colorado. If you've been dreaming about getting into your first place, upgrading for more space, or downsizing for a simpler lifestyle, now is a smart time to start planning. And the first step is easy. Get pre-approved. With American Financing, you can get it done in 24 hours or less, so you'll know exactly what you can afford before you start shopping. Rates have been dropping, home prices are steady, and more homes are hitting the market. You could score the right home at the right price and lock in a monthly payment that fits your budget without stretching yourself thin. And unlike renting, every payment you make goes toward your future, not your landlord's. And here's a misconception that they love to bust. You don't need 20% down. down. Many buyers purchase with as little as 3% down. So if home ownership is on your 2026 goals list, make it happen. Call American Financing, 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
If you've been injured in an auto accident, Dr. Joseph Ramos is both a doctor and a lawyer, combining legal and medical expertise. He can help. Ramos Law, the official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. RamosLaw.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's finally here, and we're kicking it off with a whole lot of free. Free brake pads with Duralast rotors. Free oil filter with 5 quarts of oil. Free Armor All wipes with Armor All glass cleaner, and more. More free, so you can have more summer. Celebrate free at AutoZone. Now through July 27th. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores.
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
At Siltahar Motors, Ford and Lincoln employee pricing wraps up on July 6th. If it's been on your list, now's the time. You pay what Ford employees pay on hundreds of new vehicles. Thousands off sticker, no negotiating. The price is the price. Employee pricing won't last, but Siltahar always has something great coming. 66 years of finding ways to take care of Colorado. See all that is available at sthmotors.com, Highway 36 and Wadsworth. Siltahar Motors. Get everything you want out of a dealership.
Hi, Dan Cicchini, Done Right Home Improvements. For an 8% scheduling incentive and a special financing rate of 0% APR with 72 equal monthly payments, go to drhi.com. Kitchens, baths, counters, and floors, finished basements, windows, and doors. You have our word, we'll treat you right at Done Right.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here, and there's no better time to get your yard looking good, and there's no better way to do it than with Rich Lawn. With the organic-based fertilizer, Rich Lawn Turf Food, you'll get greener grass and build your soil for a beautiful yard. And while you're at it, don't forget to check out Revive to revitalize your lawn for deeper roots and deeper watering. Get Rich Lawn and Revive products at your Home Depot or your local gardening center. With Rich Lawn and Revive products, you'll have your yard ready in no time.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Kyle Reese and Marcello Romano.
Mike Rice, Alex Becker, and for the guys this morning. Been a lot of fun, Alex. We've covered the gamut. Talked LeBron, talked NBA economics.
Yeah.
Talked Rockies, little Avs mixed in there. You poised for checking out the World Cup today?
Oh, 100%. I know we talked a little bit about it on Thursday, but that England-Mexico match set for 6 p.m. tonight, Mexico City, Estadio Azteca, 87,000 with the high altitude. That's going to be a fun one. And then, of course, the one tomorrow night, 6 p.m. I'm getting ready. USA, Belgium.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, I will say also at 2 today, Brazil against Norway.
Yeah.
Is a sneaky good match because Norway's playing really, really well, and Brazil is Brazil, right? I mean, that's kind of they're always in the mix.
Norway's got the superstar Erling Haaland, probably a top 5 player in the world. And, and they're the whole fan base coming over has made a lot of a noise with the rowing the boat, showing up and invading baseball stadiums.
That's it. Should be a lot of fun. The judge, the one and only Dan Jacobs, has the Dan Jacobs Show at 10 o'clock. Good to see you, my friend, again.
Yes. Well, we get to see each other, 3 out of 4 days? Something like that's been fantastic.
It is. How was the 4th?
It was good. Nice, chill thing. Did you get your chicken made?
I got the chicken made, and I threw a couple burgers on there as well.
Nice.
So both. For the most part, it was chicken in the family, but I did both. I was like, I'm doing a burger on the 4th.
Very good.
And what was on your menu?
Well, so I went over to the Pellini Mansion. Kathy J from Cozy 101 fame now, I guess. But her and her big-time executive husband, Mr. Efficient, she's in California, but so I came over and I went to JJ's house. I call it the Pellini Mansion. I was really cool because I get to hang. I was hanging with. We'll have some fun, confidentiality protected stories maybe later in the show. Oh. But I'm hanging with JJ and one of Philip Lindsay's neighbors. Oh. And so I'm hanging out with all these rich people, and they're telling all these stories. And we'll probably have a fun little nugget about how Philip Lindsay may be retired, but he's still finding a way to get under the competitor's skin.
Okay.
So that'll be fun. But
So wait a minute. Now I know you are an equal opportunity throw everyone under the busser. So are you
I've been told.
Yeah. Are you going to throw Phil under the bus?
Not so much me.
Okay.
I would say more accurately his neighbor perhaps may have
contributed.
Contributed to him going under the bus there. But I made my low-fat mac and cheese.
Yep.
It got a little out of hand because I was like, I'm going to skip the milk. I'm going to use real cream to make it especially low fat. And I think by the time we served it, I thought it was tasty. But it was one of those things, when you make it at the time and you're doing the taste testing, you're like, oh, I can't do any better than this.
Right.
And then if it's not perfection at the party, you feel a little bad.
But other people didn't think it was less than perfect, did they?
I don't know. I probably not. They said it was good, but And then armadillo eggs. I made those.
Yeah, I saw you were going back and forth with someone on the text line. What are armadillo eggs?
Another low-fat item. So you take some cream cheese, cheddar cheese. I put a little brown sugar and barbecue sauce in there, a little bit of fresh garlic, a little bit of taco seasoning. You turn that into a filling, and then you take a jalapeno. Now you hull out the jalapeno. And I was telling everybody at the party, I was a hero. I almost died because jalapenos are like a mixed bag. Sometimes they're very, very mild, right?
Yes.
Well, these ones I had yesterday, every time I cut the head off to clean it out, the gas was
onions are that way too.
Well, no, but this was like danger, choking heat, but I was a trooper, and so you stuff the filling into that.
Okay.
And then you pound.
Well, you stuff the filling into the pepper?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, with cheddar cheese, cream cheese, all that stuff. That goes into the pepper. Now, the pepper, you don't want to be lonely, so you pound out some sausage. You wrap the pepper in the sausage.
Okay.
But sausage is a little sensitive, so you got to wrap that in bacon. And so then you do that.
Yeah, of course.
And then you put it on the smoker.
I mean, what would it be without bacon?
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like bacon everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't realize it was quite the involved thing that armadillo eggs actually are. That's good to know.
Yeah, they're good. But they're nice because you take them to a party, and unless you're from Texas or somewhere, people are like, oh man, what are these? These are awesome. So they get that wow factor that Zach Bye definitely does not want at his parties. You hear this story? Like,
no, I did.
He
not
does
hear
not
this
want. Speaking of throwing people under the bus,
I got to listen to your show more than I do.
Yeah, you should. You should,
and I will today too, because I guess you're going to throw me under.
Well,
the bus.
you happen to miss that. When I give you credit for something, you just happen to not be listening at that moment.
Well, that's true. I did miss the fact you gave me credit for winning the pick'em.
Yes, reigning fan football champion Mike Rice,
right here.
But Zach Bye doesn't want people like me coming to his party because he's like, that's my party. I'm the LeBron of my backyard. I'm the one that's got to shine. I got that documentary crew following me around. And so he's like, I don't want you showing up with brisket and armadillo eggs and all this good stuff, taking the shine off my what I call his mythical unicorn ribs.
Wow.
Because they're famously delicious, but nobody's ever seen them.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I have heard references to.
Yeah.
Well, and I've heard the fill-in guys, but that's expected.
Yeah. We're here. We serve at the leisure of the powers that be, and we're grateful, aren't we, Mike?
Yeah, well, we are indeed.
Yeah.
So what are we talking? What are you talking about today?
You're
going to get on me.
Well, I'm going to get on you a little bit because you're throwing some wicked double standards out there.
Really,
when it comes to the Nuggets. But I also want to give you credit about what you were talking about with the the reason the NBA CBA structure is so ridiculous, it's really to keep the players and the owners as well from ruining the entire league, cannibalizing themselves with super teams. So I want to give you credit for that. We'll talk about that a little bit. And I did enjoy, because one of the things that, again, throwing people under the bus, shame on Zach Bye for his fear mongering, and you did a nice job kind of bringing down the temperature, doing a good explanation of kind of where there would be at. The only question I have was your calculations.
Are you talking the Nuggets
salary cap tax?
Yeah.
The one issue that we may be overlooking is because they're 210. They're over right now.
They're about 211 right now.
Right.
211.
But
plus.
they have, what do they have, like 5 or 6, 7 players that at least got to make $3 million a piece to sign?
They have some guys to sign, and that 211 does not include Bagley III or Tyus Jones.
Okay. So we could be talking 15, 20 and nobody players plus 25, 30 and Payton Watson.
Yes.
And if they're in that territory, dude, like you said, the repeater tax is murder.
It's absolute murder. I mean, if you're $40 million over, you're getting close to $7 on the dollar.
Yeah.
For when you're that far over. And that's why, and people say, well, how does it get to $200 million? Well, it's simply numbers, because there's an escalator. It's bad enough if you're just over the luxury tax, but then you get $1 extra at every level, and the levels go up every $5 million.
Compounding.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy. But I do think it helps me realize that, sure, as a fan, it's their money. I want to spend their money. I want to spend the Kroenkes' money. Go do it. But at the same time, as business guys, business people, they have to look at the whole picture, and they're looking at the dollars and cents of it and the SENSE of it as well.
But also, you brought up a good point. I've been talking about it as well, that what happens then, now you're stuck in that repeater tax for 2 more seasons.
Yeah.
Do you want to burn that type of flexibility on a team that was not competitive in the playoffs?
See, and that's why I don't think LeBron's going to be here, because I think Cleveland makes more sense. I think Philly actually makes more sense. I don't mean economically, because I haven't looked at it. But I mean, if I'm LeBron, I'm going, yeah, I like Denver. I like Josh. But realistically, are they going to be as good as – I don't know. And I just don't see the Kroenkes wanting to spend that kind of dough on the taxes, and then also have to reset the time on the 2 years of being under the luxury tax.
Yeah, that would be to me, it'd be insane. It'd be insane. So
it would be.
Good job out of you, sir.
Yeah, a lot of fun. It's great to see you. Have a good show. We look forward to it. Alex Becker, terrific job. Thank you. The Dan Jacobs Show is next on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
The Nuggets summer is heating up, and the biggest questions are still on the table. Will Nikola Jokic sign an extension or keep Denver holding its breath? Could a blockbuster Jamal Murray trade reshape the roster? And with Payton Watson hitting restricted free agency, what does the core look like moving forward? Stay locked in. Denver Sports has you covered all off-season long. Denver Sports, 104.3 The Fan.
It's easy to find your groove. As America celebrates, Groove Toyota, the oldest family-owned Toyota dealership in the Denver Metro, has more reasons to celebrate. Choose from hundreds of pre-owns, 40 under 15 grand. GrooveToyota.com, plus Groove Toyota has more than 100 used Toyotas, including Toyota Certifieds with full warranties available. Hurry into our Red, White, and Drive event. Groove Toyota. Start here, go anywhere.
Offer expires 7/31/26. Not all will qualify. Restrictions apply. With approved credit call 720-961-4465 for complete details.
Hey, I'm not one to say I told you so, but do you remember last year when I told you that Pure Talk was hands down the best wireless company that I'd ever used? Well, some of you were skeptical, but Consumer Reports just asked 120,000 people to rate every wireless company in America, including the big boys. Well, guess which company was the only company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. Coverage, support, value, data. 5 stars across the board. No service contracts, no cancellation fees, just great U.S. customer service on a crazy fast 5G network for a fraction of what you've been paying. I'm not going to say I told you so, but I will encourage you one more time. to dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to a 5-star American wireless company that won't let you down. Pure Talk.
Anna had a very severe brain injury.
My dad got in contact with Barry Simpson. They didn't think about the money.